That final score was 6-3. Now to Ken Coleman and Rico Petroselli at Yankee Stadium in New York.
The Baltimore Orioles won the first game of their twilight doubleheader with Toronto by a score of 6-1. And so Boston is 4 1/2 games behind as we go into this one. Milwaukee is now 8 games behind, and the Yankees are 10 games behind the Baltimore Orioles as of this moment. The first game totals 6-7-1 for Baltimore, 1-7-1 for Toronto. The winning pitcher, McGregor, his record is 2-2. He went the distance. Stibe, with Miller on in the 7th inning, Stibe was the losing pitcher. So that's the way it is at Baltimore this evening.
Again,
yes,
I was going to say something about Baltimore because talking to the Yankee players earlier, they're really concerned about Baltimore. You know, usually a club as well is a long way to go, and of course there is a long way to go, but they seem to be concerned about them. Everyone knows they have that fine pitching staff, and I think the Yankees realize they have a lot of catching up to do. Of course, the Red Sox do also.
Yes, they do, and there's no question about the fact that the Orioles are widening the gap, and this 4-game series takes on additional import here tonight. A couple of notes on Ron Guidry. His 13th start, his 16th appearance. He won 10 of his last 11 and 12 of his last 14 regular season decisions in 78 and 8 of his last 9 in 77. So he has now won 39 of his last 47 regular season decisions. He had a 4-0 postseason mark in 77 and 78, and he is 43-8 since August the 10th, 1977. And 15 of his 25 wins last year followed Yankee losses. And the American League last year hit 193 against Guidry. For just a moment, because there will be a bit of a delay, we'd like to welcome an old friend to our booth. He has Mike here, Rico. We're all set. Keith Morris is stopping by, and Keith is, of course, has been with Sports Illustrated since its inception. And Keith, I remember the inception very well. I remember when you came around and told me about the concept.
Absolutely, Kenny. We've known each other all of these 25 years. It's been interesting. There's no question about it. And I'm delighted to have been a part of that scene. And this year being our 25th anniversary, I've been traveling around the country on celebrations that we're doing in the major cities. And we will have a special issue on August 13th, which will commemorate the 25 years. And we're doing some other things very quickly. One that really, I think, would be of interest to your Red Sox listeners. The night of August 16th in Milwaukee, we're bringing back our first cover personalities, Eddie Matthews, Wes Westrom, and Augie Donatelli, and they're going to put on their uniforms again, and there's a big ceremony at home plate that night, and that'll bring back a lot of memories to a lot of people, I'm sure.
Well, I'm sure it will, too, and thank you so much for dropping by and telling us about it, Keith.
On my way out, Kenny, if I may, to you and Rico, we have a special certificate of appreciation to Ken Coleman and Rico Petroselli for your fine support over the 25 years. Thank you very much from all of us at SI.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Right. Keith Morris of Sports Illustrated has just dropped by the booth to fill us in on some of the things that have happened with that outstanding publication. And now, down at home plate, we are looking at Don Zimmer and Billy Martin. And we might add that Bob Lemon is about 2 booths away from us over to our left, and sitting with our friend Jack Satter over there. And as a matter of fact, there's a story in the paper today that he has been offered the job as manager of the Cleveland Indians. And, of course, he would be stepping into the general manager's post here, although he would be on the West Coast. And the feeling that I get from people around the Yankees is that the chances are that he would prefer to go back and be on the West Coast at this particular time, and perhaps will not take the job, but we're only speculating right now. Billy Martin getting a nice round of applause as he went out to the plate. He's out there talking with Don Zimmer now. The umpires for tonight's game. Ken Kaiser will work the plate. Russ Getz is at first. Bill Haller at second. And Ron Luciano is the umpire at third base. And running in the outfield right now is Reggie Jackson along with Willie Randolph. And in the New York papers today, all kinds of stories about Jackson and about Billy Martin. A little bit about baseball, too, but mostly about the personalities of these two men. And, of course, in the case of Reggie, the fact that he has always seemed to have a great flair for the dramatic, to do the big thing at the big moment. And a lot of people are probably wondering if he will be able to pull something like that this evening.
Well, he's swinging the bat real well in batting practice. As you mentioned earlier, he was hitting the ball on the upper deck, and he's that type of guy. He just comes from nowhere, really, and all of a sudden becomes alive and does something interesting. But he and Martin, I noticed, seemed like Billy went in the clubhouse, Reggie came out. When Reggie went back in, Billy came out. Although Billy was talking about Reggie and how he's going to use him, he seemed to be, saying nice things about him. I'm sure in Martin's case, he wants to do anything that could help the ball club, and in Reggie's case, he wants to help the ball club also, I would think, and he's just a flamboyant guy and very exciting as far as I'm concerned.
One of the fellas down in the Yankee clubhouse or dugout right now, perhaps to lighten the tension, has put on like false padding underneath his uniform, and that is Fred Stanley, and he was doing it to impersonate Ken Kaiser, the former wrestler who will work the plate tonight, and he looked as bulky as Ken does, in fact, and people laughing about it down there. And I think sometimes that does happen when you get into a thing like this, because as I talk like the Bucky Dent, I mean, these people are excited about this thing tonight. The Yankees right now are taking the field, and the fans in New York are giving them an ovation as they go out to their position. Ron Guidry has planted out to the mound. Everybody is there except Thurman Munson. He'll probably show up after a while. And a big roar for Bobby Mercer out in right field. He has taken his cap off. He is waving to the crowd. He just loves being back here in New York again. As he said, he had the uniform of the Chicago Cubs on for a while, but his heart has always been here in New York. He came here to replace Mickey Mantle, you may recall. He never quite did, but he's always been a splendid ball player and a splendid man, and he is thrilled at all of this. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to hear our national anthem. With the first pitch in a moment.
Let's look at the National League now. In the East, Montreal 6.5 up on Pittsburgh, Chicago, and St. Louis. Montreal is 42 and 26. Pittsburgh 36-33. Chicago and St. Louis are 35 and 32. Philadelphia trails by 7. Mets in the East basement 13 back, 29 and 39. In the National League West, Houston up on Cincinnati by 5.5. San Francisco trails by 8.5. San Diego's 12.5, Los Angeles 13.5, and Atlanta 16.5. Thursday's action in the senior circuit, San Diego down Atlanta 6-5. Same score, Houston over San Francisco. New York won over Pittsburgh 3-2, and Cincinnati defeated Los Angeles 2-1. All the teams won by 1 run. National American League results: Milwaukee 6, Minnesota 5. Chicago defeated Seattle 2-1. It was Cleveland 6, Baltimore 3, and 10. New York 5, Toronto 3. Detroit 6, Boston 3. Kansas City won over Oakland 7-6, and Texas put it on California 14-3. This afternoon, New York Mets at Chicago postponed because of rain. Philadelphia is playing a doubleheader at Busch Stadium against the St. Louis Cardinals. We should have a score on that coming up shortly. Montreal is at Pittsburgh after 1. The Pirates 3, Montreal nothing. Later on the West Coast, 3 games. Houston at San Diego, Atlanta at Los Angeles, and Cincinnati at San Francisco. Again, Baltimore took the first of 2 from Toronto 6-1. Cleveland at Detroit, and there are 3 other games we'll talk about later in the American League.
We're ready to go in New York. Rick Burleson stands in. Ron Guidry on the mound. He's looking around, checking his outfield. Burleson batting .271. He has 4 home runs. He has 31 runs batted in. The outfield is playing straight away. Guidry into his windup, and the slim left-hander throws, and he's inside with a breaking ball. Ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to Burleson. Larry Wolf is on deck, and Fred Lynn will be up third. It is 69 degrees at Yankee Stadium right now. Pitch is a fastball on the inside corner at the belt for a call strike. It is 1-1. Thurman Munson behind the plate. Spencer at first, Randolph at second, Dent at short, and Nettles at third. The 1-1 pitch to Rick is foul back upstairs into the upper deck on the third level. And the count is 1-2. Lou Piniella is in left field. Mickey Rivers in center. Bobby Mercer in right. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Guidry, a fast worker, into his windup, and the pitch to Burleson. He swings, and this is strike 3. Looked like a slider busting in on him, and there's 1 away in the first inning.
He has that sharp slider, boy. It's really tough on right-handed hitters. It comes in and breaks down. Of course, that's a good fastball when he has it going. Now, he's had that back problem, and I'm sure the Yankees are going to keep an eye on him to see how far he can go here.
Larry Wolf in the lineup tonight at second base for Jerry Remy. Batting .263 with 2 homers, 7 runs batted in. And the pitch on the way from Guidry is a strike called, another slider on the inside and down. Wolf last year with the Minnesota Twins faced Guidry often, every time the Twins played against New York. Pitch is low for a ball, and the count is 1-1. And Remy, of course, been playing very good ball, but Don Zimmer wants that right-handed bat in here in this situation. The pitch is foul back and is going into the seats in the lower stand. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
As a right-handed hitter, Ken, the only thing you can do with a Guidry when he's really got his good stuff is try to be as short as possible with your swing. Just short stroke and maybe hit him up the middle. If you have a big swing, it's going to be really tough because his ball is always moving, the slider and the fastball.
Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way, and it is a strike ball. And these people are going crazy right away. 2 men out of the first inning as he poured the fastball past Larry Wolf. Every time he gets to 2 strikes, these people are up. And now Fred Lynn, batting .316 with 19 home runs and 63 runs batted in. Standing outside the box, tapping his spikes. Put on quite a show in batting practice here. Guidry looks around, checks his outfield. Lynn digs in on the left side. Munson crouching back of the plate. And the pitch from Guidry is swung on a miss, strike 1. Fastball around the knees. 0-1 to count on Lynn. Jim Rice is on deck, 2 out of the first inning for Boston. The pitch. High pop foul, back out of play. Strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes on Fred. And you can start to hear the swell of the crowd again as he's got 2 strikes on the Boston hitter. Guidry winds and throws, and he swings and misses. He has struck out the side, and they're standing in New York. After a half inning of play, the Red Sox nothing, and the Yankees coming up.
Taking a look at the probable pitchers tonight in the American League. Cleveland and Detroit, Rick Waite 9-6. Detroit, Steve Baker 1-4. Seattle at Milwaukee, Glenn Abbott 3-8. Opposing Larry Sorensen 9-7. Chicago at Minnesota, Ross Gumgardner 5-5. In Minnesota, Jeff Zahn 6-1. California at Kansas City for the Angels, Dave Frost 5-4. For the Royals, Dennis Leonard 5-4 also. Oakland at Texas, Matt Keogh 0-9 for the A's. Danny Darwin, no record for the Texas Rangers. Now, we'll have to check the details of that Toronto-Baltimore game. The expected pitchers, I don't know who pitched the first game, but it was still Hoffman 4-8, possible starter in the first game against Scott McGregor 1-2. Second gave Steve Stone for the Orioles 5-5, and young Dave Stive, no record for the Blue Jays. National League, Montreal at Pittsburgh, Bill Lee opposing Bruce Keeson. Philadelphia at St. Louis, Nino Espinosa and Bob Forge. Houston, Joaquin Andujar. San Diego, Gaylord Perry. Atlanta at Los Angeles, Buddy Solomon opposing Rick Sutcliffe. And Cincinnati at San Francisco, Tom Seaver, 5-5 against the Giant Bob Nepper, who is 6-2. Toronto and Baltimore second game. The Blue Jays fail to score in the top half of the first inning. Philadelphia and St. Louis, the first game now. After 4 innings of play, the Cardinals lead the Phillies by a score of 7-5.
Mike Therese has come in from the bullpen out in left field and is taking his warm-up tosses ready for the last half of the first inning. This program is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Boston Red Sox solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Boston Red Sox is prohibited. Leading off for New York will be Mickey Rivers, who has hit in 5 straight games, 7 for 24 at 292, and in 9 of his last 10 ball games, in which he's batted 349.
Yankees have a few guys that are been hot hitters lately.
Indeed they do, and they have so far under Billy Martin are 7-3 under Billy, and they won 6 of their last 7 ball games. This is the beginning of a 7-game homestand after the 4 games with Boston. They will be playing 3 more here against Toronto. They just took 2 out of 3 from the Blue Jays in Toronto. And Mike Therese is just about finishing his warm-up throws now as Mickey Rivers stands by to lead off for New York. Yogi Berra is the coach at first base for the Yankees, and Mike Ferraro coaching over at third. Now Rivers shuffling up to the plate. Very fast when he runs, very slow when he walks. And Butch Hobson plays him up the line at third. And Burleson and Wolf are in a step or 2 at short and second. Yaz is even with a bag at first. Rivers looks at a pitch inside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes on Mickey Rivers. Munson on deck. Mercer will bat third. Here's the kick and the pitch inside, ball 2. In his last 2 starts, Therese has had first inning trouble with his control. And he starts off with Rivers, 2 balls, no strikes. Now the right-hander works, and there's a high pop foul off third base, and it'll go into the seat. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike on Rivers. Billy Martin standing in the Yankee dugout and pacing slowly back and forth. The 2-1 pitch comes down. Rivers fouls another one up on the left side into the upper stand. They are expecting over 200,000 people to see the 4 games here. Therese on the grass, a lot slower worker than Guidry is. Now Mike back up on the rubber. Right-hander rocks and throws, and Rivers looks at ball 3. It bounces out of the glove of Montgomery to the backstop. 3-2. Yankee Stadium in New York, renovated a few years ago. Still has some great charm. Line drive to short, grabbed by Burleson. And Rivers is out. Mickey Rivers hits the ball hard. A liner just to the left of Burleson. He went up and took it down. So with 1 out, we now have Thurman Munson at the plate. He has hit in 8 of his last 10 games at .333. Right-handed batter fixing his golf glove as he steps in. There can be 600,000 people in the place, and Thurman wouldn't notice. He just stands in there like batting practice. Pitch is a strike, get the knees, nothing in 1. At least that's the appearance he gives, but you have to know he's an intense competitor, and he is feeling it. And as a matter of fact, he is now having a discussion with Ken Kaiser, the plate umpire, about that call. He didn't like it. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and he fouls one back upstairs out of play, just below the press box off to our right. And that press box is jammed packed full of people tonight. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out in the first inning for New York. No score in the game. The outfield straightaway. It's 417 feet to straightaway center field. Perez checks with Montgomery for the sign. And the 0-2 pitch comes in, and it's taken low for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Thurman Munson. Tomorrow afternoon, it'll be Louis Tiant and Bob Stanley. Now the 1-2 pitch on the way. There's a ground ball on one hop to Hobson. He comes in, throws to Yastrzemski, 2 away in the first inning. Munson grounds out. 2 men out, and the noise will be for Bobby Mercer. The fans here, this is his first home appearance, are giving him a standing ovation. And he just takes off his cap at the plate, and he's waving to everybody. They gave him one when he went to right field, and now another one. He's had some great years wearing the pinstripes of the Yankees, and he's back here where he feels he belongs. The pitch is inside and low, ball 1. Left-handed batter facing Mike Torres, 2 out in the first inning. Outfield is swung toward right. Now Mike takes a little too much time. Mercer backs off. Bobby moving in again. And the pitch on the way, and it's a foul ball. Back of the plate, upstairs, 1-1. He went to the Giants for Bobby Bonds, and then to the Cubs for Matlock. 1 ball, 1 strike.
There's a line drive hitter, really gets good power to right field.
Pitch, foul, back of the plate. Montgomery coming back, way back, and it is up on the screen. There is a lot of room in foul ground here at Yankee Stadium behind home plate. Not so much down the lines. As a matter of fact, after you go about 100 feet beyond first base, there isn't any at all. But toward the dugouts and in back of the plate, pretty good expanse of foul ground. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Bobby Mercer. 2 men out in the last half of the first inning in New York. Montgomery just activated today, doing the catching. Mike Torres into his motion and the pitch. Sounded foul over to the New York dugout on the first base side. 1-2.
When Bobby first came up, they put him at shortstop, and had some problems there, so decided to move him out to the outfield.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Drive toward left field. Rice going toward the line, and he makes a good running catch of the ball, and that's all. At the end of 1 in New York, it is 0-0.
Pittsburgh Pirates manager Chuck Tanner believes the National League East has no last-place team. Tanner made a statement after the New York Mets battled the second-place Pirates this week. The Mets, 13 games behind first-place Montreal, took 3 games of 5 in their homestand. The home-and-home series, rather, with the Pirates, including a 2-game sweep at Pittsburgh. Mets catcher John Stern says we have some problems, but we're not to be taken lightly. And former New York Yankee manager Bob Lemon says an apparent offer to manage the Cleveland Indians comes out of left field, and he is not ready to make a decision on the matter. Lemon was replaced by former manager Billy Martin on June 10th, 6 months before originally planned. He is currently working in the Yankee front office, evaluating talent. Now, if Lemon decides to return to the team where he started as a pitcher during the 1950s, he would replace current skipper Jeff Torborg. The Indians ended a 10-game losing streak last night in Baltimore. Lemon previously managed at Kansas City and Chicago before joining the Yankees on July 25th, 1978. Scoreboard: Toronto-Baltimore second game, no score after 1. The Orioles won the first game 6-0. Cleveland-Detroit just getting underway. Nothing in yet on Seattle and Milwaukee. Chicago at Minnesota, California at Kansas City, Oakland, Texas. Most of those games will start later. Philadelphia, St. Louis, first game after 4.5. Cardinals 7. Phillies 5. Again, the only afternoon game in the majors. The Mets of Chicago was postponed because of rain.
In the second inning, Jim Rice will lead off against Ron Guidry, who struck out the side in the first. He had Burleson and Lynn swinging, and Wolf on a call third strike, the middleman. Rice at the plate, and the pitch is inside, ball one. Jim batting .323, 17 home runs, 54 runs batted in.
He's hit Guidry fairly well in the last couple of years.
Pitch is a fastball, swung on and missed. That was up.
Hey, you really had something on that fastball.
Rice has hit in 5 of the last 7 at .379. He has 10 home runs and 23 RBIs in his last 23 games. Guidry takes a little off, and the pitch is outside. 2 balls and 1 strike on Jim Rice. Rice is 9th in batting in the American League with a .323 average. Fouls one off to the right, upstairs and out of play. 2-2. On deck is Bob Watson, who is watching Guidry very intently. Now he's got that 2-2 situation. Here's the windup and the pitch. Another foul off to the right in about the same section. 2-2 on Jim. Guidry takes a deep breath. Left-hander winds and throws. Right swings and misses. Strike 3. Breaking ball down and in. He has struck out the first 4 men he's pitched to.
Boy, that ball really broke in on Jimmy. He's got his ball moving tonight so far. And throwing hard, too.
Yes, sir. He is throwing hard, and good stuff, breaking stuff, Rico. And as we mentioned right at the beginning of the broadcast, he is working for the first time since June 12th when he left the game against the Twins after 7 innings with a muscle strain in his upper back. And at that time, they thought it was going to be quite serious. Time called as a helmet came down out of the stands in right field. Now Bob Watson is at the plate. The umpires have put on their jackets down on the field between innings. Johnny Pesky is coaching at first. Eddie Yost is over at third. And Bob Watson will get his first look at Ron Guidry. The windup and the pitch to Bob is outside and high, ball 1. Guidry into the motion and the pitch on the way. Fastball over for a strike, 1-1. And to think they were thinking a couple of years ago of sending him back to the minors.
Yeah, I remember that.
Pitch is low and he goes to 2-1 with Watson.
Pitched against the Red Sox in Fort Lauderdale in that year, and 2 of the longest home runs hit off him I've ever seen.
Pitch is high, and that's ball 3. 3-1.
But he came up with that slider, and Sparky Lyle helped him. And since then, boy, he's really been something.
Here's the 3-1 pitch. Watson hits a fly ball into center field. Rivers is coming in. He is under it, and he makes the catch for the out. Watson flies to center. 2 out of the second inning for the Red Sox.
It's a moral victory right there. Somebody hit the ball fair.
That's right. Somebody went out without striking out. Now Carl Yastrzemski is at the plate, batting an even .300. 15 home runs, 52 runs batted in. He's hit in 20 of the last 24 games at .352 with 8 home runs and 24 RBIs in his last 22 ball games. The pitch to Carl is outside and low, ball 1. The most strikeouts consecutive at the start of the game, and he had 4, has been 6 since 1900. Pitch is in for a call strike, 1-1.
Carl's really bailing on him. As soon as Guidry is, just before he's ready to release the ball, Yaz is leaning towards the first base bag or the Yankee dugout. And the only pitch he's going to hit is the ball inside. Maybe that's what he's looking for.
1-1 pitch is fouled off the mask of Munson. 1-2.
We had a good rip on that. That's definitely the pitch he was looking for, and he fouled it off. The fastball on the inside part of the plate, looking to pull that ball.
Now the crowd again getting into that chant with a two-strike pitch. The 1-2 delivery is just a shade low with a fastball, and it is 2-2. The people who had 6 strikeouts, John Hiller, Ray Culp, Bert Blyleven, and Andy Messersmith. Pitch hit on the ground toward first base. Spencer has it, throws to Guidry covering, and the Red Sox go in order. After 1.5 in New York, it is 0-0.
Montreal and Pittsburgh after 2 innings of play. The Bucks lead the Expos by a score of 3-1. Most of the games will be starting a little later. Toronto-Baltimore, second game, no score after 1.5. The Giants players appeared stunned by the trade of two-time National League batting champion Bill Madlock and reliever Dave Roberts to Pittsburgh yesterday for reliever Ed Whitson. The general manager, Spec Richardson, defends the deal and says the key is rookie second baseman Joe Strain was called up from Phoenix to replace Madlock at second base. Richardson says that Strain has hit .300 everywhere he has played. The Giants also obtained veteran reliever Pedro Barbone from the Cincinnati Reds for utility man Hattie Cruz. Richardson feels the Giants have lost too many games in the 8th and 9th innings and have strengthened the bullpen with Barbone and Whitson. So our ball game moving right along, no score at Yankee Stadium. A lot of people there to watch the Red Sox and the Yankees play.
At Yankee Stadium, the plate umpire Ken Kaiser, I believe at the request of Billy Martin, has just checked the uniform of Mike Torres. A little bit of a stain on the right side. Sparky Anderson, you recall, did that in Boston recently to see if he might have a foreign substance. Everything is all right, and we'll have Lou Piniella coming up now to bat in the last half of the second inning. There is no score in this game, and the first pitch is hit on the ground to third. Hobson's got it and throws onto Yastrzemski, and Pinella's out. Lou went up there hitting .313 with 7 homers, 38 runs batted in. The noise is for Jackson now. Reggie Jackson. Bobby Mercer gets the big a little bit ago in the first inning, and now Jackson here in the second, batting .284. 10 homers, 31 runs batted in. Back in action tonight as the DH.
Hey, as far as the fans are concerned, they like both Martin and Jackson. They've gotten real good rounds of applause.
There's a ground ball foul down to it, Yogi Berra. Coach at first. 0-1. Standing in.
What the applause meter read, but they were both high.
Right. There's a changeup, and he takes it for a ball. 1-1 on Jackson. One out here in the second inning. Nettles is on deck for New York. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on a changeup. 1-2. He was ripping on that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count on Reggie Jackson. 1 out of the second inning. Torres kicks and throws, and Jackson swings and misses strike 3. We'll take a 10-second break on the Boston Red Sox radio network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
The batter is Greg Nettles, batting .248, 13 home runs, 48 runs batted in. He's hit in the last 3 games at .333 with a home run, 3 runs, and 4 RBIs.
And Mike sees the way Guidry is throwing. He knows he's got to keep that Red Sox close.
Pitch is inside, ball 1. Left-handed batting third baseman intelligent glove man, good solid ball player. Pitch is high and outside. Ball 2. 2-0 on Nettles.
Trying to compare Craig with Brooks Robinson. Talking to many members of the press down by the cage.
The 2-ball pitch fouls it off his foot, and the count is 2-1 on Greg Nettles as Yogi Berra picks up another one. Yogi quoted in the fall here when shadows are tough in left field. He says it gets laid out there early. Another one of the lines he started it with. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed, 2-2. Looked like a slider. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count on Nettles. 2 out in the Yankees second, no score. Baltimore won the first game of a doubleheader with Toronto 6-1. Pitch is a strike called on the inside corner at the knees, and the side is out. At the end of 2, it is 0-0.
Here's the tails of that first game at Memorial Stadium, Baltimore, the first of a 20 doubleheader with Toronto. A 3-run second inning and a pair of homers in the 6th pushed the Baltimore Orioles to that 6-1 victory over Toronto. Rich Dower sparked the second inning rally with a 2-run single off losing pitcher Dave Steed. In the 6th, Doug DeSantis slammed his 7th home run with 1 on, and Lee May followed with his 13th home run of the season. Baltimore pitcher Scott McGregor surrenders a homer to Otto Velez in the second inning before shutting the Jays out the rest of the way. The left-hander gave up 7 hits, struck out 2, and walked 1 in taking his second win of the year. Let's check some more of the scores now coming in. Cleveland, Detroit. That game has been delayed at Tiger Stadium for some 34 minutes by rain, is now underway. Philadelphia at St. Louis. Schultz has come from the bullpen for the Cardinals. In the 6th inning, the latest we had was 4.5, with the Cardinals leading the Phillies in a first of a 20 doubleheader at Busch Stadium. That score was 7-5. A lot of action at Wimbledon, England. We'll give you a complete rundown in a few moments. We do know that Sweden's Bjorn Borg shrugged off a leg injury to South American Hank Pfister from the Wimbledon Tennis Championships. A 6-4, 6-1, 6-3 victory today gave Borg a place in the last 16. Borg aiming to win the title for the 4th straight year, never showed any sign, but his injury troubled him as he raced about the court to tame the big serving Pfister.
We go now to the 3rd inning, and here's a man who's played a lot of very exciting baseball in this park, Rico Petrocelli.
Okay, thanks a lot, Ken. Butch Hobson, the hitter, takes the ball outside from Ron Guidry. Butch at 254, 9 homers, 41 RBIs, and we've seen some pitching early in this ball game. Guidry, 4 strikeouts. Butch fouls one off to the right side in the stand. Mike Perez with 2. Mickey Rivers hit a ball hard off Mike, the first at-bat of the game. So far, nobody's had any luck with Guidry. It's a pop-up between home and first base. Here comes Spencer over. He's looking up, and he makes the play in foul territory. So Butch Hobson pops up to Spencer, foul territory between home and first base. First out, that'll bring up Dwight Evans. Dwight batting .278, 9 homers, 28 RBIs. Bob Montgomery on deck. First 4 Red Sox batters struck out. Since then, contact is made, but not very good contact against Guidry. Dwight has left center field. Mickey Rivers shaded over a little bit to the right field side of second base. Now Dwight calls timeout. Ken Kaiser, the home plate umpire. Now he's back in the box. Pitch is a bloop towards right field. Mercer charging, keeps coming, and it's going to be Willie Randolph with the catch. A fine catch by Randolph. Looks like Mercer is going to call him off, but Randolph stayed with it all the way and made the catch, running towards right field. So there's a fine defensive play behind Guidry, and Willie Randolph, the man involved. So Dwight Evans flies out to deep right field with Randolph catching that baseball. 2 outs. Bob Montgomery up.
And when you're coming off the disabled list, how'd you like to start out with Guidry?
And the way he's throwing. But Monty has been successful coming off the bench. There's a foul behind home plate. A pretty good swing.
Speaking of the disabled list, right next to us, about 5 feet away in the next booth, broadcasting to the Spanish-speaking audience here, is Ed Figueroa, who is on the 21-day disabled list for the Yankees.
Yeah, I was talking to him before the game. He said he has a bone spur on that elbow. Looks like he's going to have to get an operation. No balls, 1 strike to Monty. It's strike 2 on the outside corner at the knees. And man, his ball is sailing away from the right-handed hitters. And it's quick. No balls, 2 strikes. Pitch. Just outside. Didn't miss by much. And half the Yankees infield started moving in towards the dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Monty. 2 outs. Top of the third, no score in this game. A pitch from Guidry. A drive towards left center field. It's deep. Mickey Rivers racing towards the warning track. He's not going to get it. Montgomery rounding first base, coming into second as Rivers recovers and throws in. And Bob Montgomery, amazing. He just laced that one out there by the 430 sign in left center field. And standing on second base, Jim Spencer, the first baseman, was over there backing up, and he's kind of laughing at Monty. Monty, unbelievable, coming off the disabled list and roping one to left center. First hit by the Red Sox.
That is a little unreal, isn't it? I mean, he hasn't faced a pitch in anger for a long time. Here he is with Guidry, and he almost put one out on him.
You're not kidding. Not too many guys can do that. Okay, there's 2 outs. Rick Burleson up. Rick struck out in the first. Pitch is swung on and missed, a breaking ball. The ball's 1 strike. Bob Montgomery leading off second base with 2 outs. Burleson swings and misses, strike 2, another breaking pitch. This one looked like it was out of the strike zone. Go down and in. Guidry ahead in the count, 0-2. Montgomery leads off second. The pitch, strike 3, swinging. Again, the breaking ball. That's it for the Red Sox. After 2.5, no score.
Let's look closer at the Wimbledon tennis tournament today. As we mentioned earlier, Bjorn Borg, despite a leg injury, he ousted American Hank Pfister from the championship. He won 6-4, 6-1, 6-3. Third seed Jimmy Connors.
Hitting 4 straight, 6 for 10. 5 runs, a double, triple, home run, and 3 RBIs. Takes the first pitch on the inside corner for a strike. Willie Randolph on deck. Bucky Dent to follow. Big crowd on hand. Hit the ball up high that Spencer takes. 1 ball, 1 strike. Outfield shifted around towards right. Freddie Lynn shaded towards right center. A big gap in left center field. Change up high. Taken for ball 2. 2-1 to Spencer. Spencer likes the ball down most of the time. He'll hit the breaking ball up with the soft little uppercut swing. 2-1 pitch is swung on and missed. A good fastball inside part of the plate. Perez throwing well here. He has a pretty good fastball going and a hard slider. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Perez has the sign for money. There's a foul off behind home plate. It came within about 3 or 4 feet from here. We haven't gotten one close in the booth yet this year. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Spencer. Mike Perez kicks. Throws a foul ball on the upper deck. Way up there to right field. And Spencer really got out in front of that pitch. Perez took a little bit off, but he got it up and around shoulder high to Spencer. 2 strikes. Hitter, of course, has to be ready to swing anything close. Perez gets a new baseball. Mike looking in for the sign. Nods his head, says, I have it. Here he goes. The pitch swung on and foul back behind home plate off the mask of Bob Montgomery. So Spencer hanging in there with the count 2-2. Looks like Perez might even be pitching him. They're trying to pitch him upstairs. What a crowd here. This looks like a packed house. Bleachers full. Perez throws a ground ball toward Jazz at first. He's up with it near the line. Steps on the bag for the out. So Jim Spencer grounds out to Carl Yastrzemski at first. One out, Willie Randolph, the hitter. Willie's hitting .262 with 1 home run, 27 RBIs. Fine second baseman, just a good all-around player. Butch Hobson in at third base. He also can bunt. Pretty good speed. Pitch is outside to Willie, ball 1. Perez ready. Throws, and there's a slider on the outside corner for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Bottom of the third, no score on this ball game. Both pitchers have been superb. Changeup up and in, and Randolph has to get out of the way of that one. 2 balls, 1 strike. Red Sox outfield playing straight away. Evans in shallow right. And pretty good power to left field. The ball outside. Perez tried to get that slider on the outside corner. Missed. 3 balls, 1 strike. Mike facing center field takes a deep breath. Now he gets back on the rubber. Kicks a little dirt out, trying to get comfortable in there. All you need is a little dirt to go in there and you lose your feel. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and that's in the dirt for ball 4. Perez trying to put a little extra on that one, but missed. That's the first walk he's given up. Willie Randolph, of course, the threat to steal. Bucky Dent, the hitter. Bucky, 251, 1 homer, 18 RBIs. Randolph, 16 stolen bases. He's caught stealing 5 times. So a definite threat. He's got a pretty good sized lead at first base. Perez comes to the top position at the belt. Goes over to first base, and Randolph dives back. They almost had him. Yes, says a few words to Russ Getz, the first base umpire. Thought he had him. West Coast. Randolph with the 16 stolen bases leads the Yankees. Mickey Rivers with just 3. Now Randolph, big lead, takes an extra step. Mike Perez looking over there, throws over, and Randolph dives back safely. He's really got some kind of lead there. And he's kind of inching up towards second base. One of the things the pitchers try to do is have that base stealer, the good one, stop. They don't like to see them gain momentum going towards second base. Here's the pitch. Ball high. 1 ball, no strike. One thing as a hitter, with a guy that on first base that can steal, most of the time the pitchers will try to throw fastballs away to give the catcher a little break and a good pitch to try to throw the runner out on. That pitch was away now. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. Randolph again with that big lead at first base. Perez looking over there. Again throws, and Randolph dives back, and that ball was almost away from Yaz. He had to dive for it. Ball was to the right of Carl. Randolph now calls timeout, clean off his uniform, and get that dirt off his shirt. 1 ball, no strike to Bucky Dent. Bottom of the third, no score, 1 out. Perez looking over. There goes Randolph, and Dent swings and fouls it off on the ground in the Red Sox dugout. It was a hit and run because the pitch was a ball. It was outside, and Dent really reached out for it. Had a weak swing. Now Randolph coming back to first base. Mickey Rivers is on deck. Bucky Dent. And away from the plate. There goes Randolph, and there's a foul ball off to the right in the stands beyond the Yankee dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Dent. Randolph walking back. Had a pretty good jump on that particular pitch. Looks like he was kind of shaking his head a little bit there. That might not have been a hit and run. Now Bob Montgomery going out to talk to Mike Torres on the mound. Trying to get either their signs together or where they want to throw that baseball with Randolph on first base. Okay, Mike Torres getting back on that rubber, looking in for the sign from Montgomery. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Bucky Dent. There's 1 out. Bottom of the third, no score. Randolph leads. The pitch to Dent is outside, a slider. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The outfield playing straight away on Bucky Dent. Not very deep. White Evans and right is medium right field. The chops are behind the bag, about 10 feet off the line. Burleson and Wolf looking for that ground ball for the double play. There goes Randolph. The pitch is strike 3 call. Here's the throw to second, and Randolph is safe. Head first slide. Got a good jump. And Mike Torres made a fine pitch on Bucky Dent right in the outside corner. Then tried to make contact with that ball. Couldn't do it. So there's 2 outs. 3 strikeouts for Mike Torres. 17 stolen bases now for Willie Randolph. Mickey Rivers at the plate. The Yankees threaten here. With Thompson in at third. Pitch from Torres. The foul off to the left side. Beyond the Red Sox dugout and in the upper deck. No balls, 1 strike to mix the quick. Something, boy, when he misses the pitch and he twirls that bat, he must have been a drum major in school. Batting .290, he's got 3 homers and 23 RBIs. South stand, close to the plate. Little short stroke. Here's the pitch inside to him. 1 ball, 1 strike. He lined out to Rick Burleson at shortstop in the first inning. He can pop a ball out of here. He likes that ball upstairs, especially the fastball, and you get it up there, he'll jump all over it. But he does spray the ball around, and you know about his speed. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Torres. The line drive towards left field. Jimmy Rice is there. Slips up, and he makes the play for the out. And that's it for the Yankees. After 3 complete, no score.
As mentioned earlier by Ken Coleman, of course, Reggie Jackson is playing tonight against the Red Sox. Jackson, the controversial slugger who has been sidelined since June 2nd with a leg injury, told New York Yankee manager Billy Martin that he felt well enough today to serve as the DH when the Yankees opened that 4-game series with the Red Sox. Martin responded by penciling in Jackson, the bat 5th, in the Yankee lineup, assuring that Jackson would make his first appearance during Martin's 2nd term as Yankee manager. Jackson arrived at the ballpark 3 hours before game time tonight, and after dressing in the silence that was broken only by brief conversations with teammates Mickey Rivers and Jim Catfish Hunter, grabbed 2 bats and headed towards the runway that connects the clubhouse and the dugout. He hit for about 10 minutes and then, limping noticeably, entered the office of the manager with whom he has feuded on and off since 1977. Then Jackson, explaining his limp, "I just hit for 10 minutes, but I've been out for some 20 days. I had a problem with my Achilles area, and it's going to be a little sore until it gets stronger." For Martin, who has gone out of his way to be pleasant to Jackson, was the latest in a series of short meetings with the slugger. Martin indicated that he realizes that Jackson's injury is not fully healed. Said Billy, "I might have to pinch run for him late in the game." Meanwhile, Pittsburgh outfielder Matt Alexander will not be outrighted to Portland, the Pacific Coast League. Reported Thursday that Alexander would be sent to the Pacific Coast League club to make room for 2-time batting champ Bill Madlock, who was acquired from the San Francisco Giants on Thursday.
Okay, we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. No score in the game. Larry Wolf, the hitter, against Guidry. He struck out in the 1st inning. 1 hit in the game by the Red Sox. Bob Montgomery, a long double to left center field. Guidry has the sign. He throws, and there's a ball up high. 1 ball, no strike to Larry Wolf. That was a slider. First one he's gotten out of the strike zone tonight, I think. Fred Lynn on deck. 1-0 pitch is up high again. This time a fastball. 2 balls, no strikes as Wolf takes both pitches. Now he looks down to Eddie Yost for a sign. Red Sox trying to get something going. They need base runners. Guidry ready. Kicks and throws. Ball 3. Low and inside in the dirt. Wolf again looks down to Eddie Yost at third base for a sign. 3 balls, no strikes, no score in this game. What would you give him? Guidry set. Wolf takes it all the way for ball 4 inside, and the Red Sox get a base runner here in the top of the 4th. No out. First walk given up by Guidry. Freddie Lynn, the batter. Lynn looking down to Yost for a possible bunt or hit and run sign. Jimmy Rice on deck. Greg Nettles in at third base. Outfield straightaway and deep for Fred. Spencer holding Wolf on to throw over to first base, and Wolf back in time. Pitchers will do that in a bunt situation, not only now, but possibly late innings, to see if the batter is going to bunt. He might switch around, and he doesn't, and it's a call strike on the outside corner. A hitter like Freddie now, not a definite bunt situation, in case you're wondering. Even though it's a left-handed hitter and one of the best pitchers in the American League, Freddie a contact hitter most of the time. Early in the ball game, no score, top of the 4th. The pitch to Lynn is taken outside, didn't miss by much. Scoreboard has 2-0 now. See the pitch from outside to Lynn. Yes, 2 balls, 1 strike now. Kaiser gives a sign. Now it's changed on the board. Larry Wolf leads off first base. None out. Guidry set. Throws and a shot just foul past first base, and then really got a hold of it. Of course, Spencer down there now, one of the top defensive first basemen in the league. He can pick it. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Fred. Freddie calls timeout, wants a new bat. Looks like he might have either hit that ball towards the end of the bat or in the hand. Yaz in the last homestand hit a ball right on the meat of the bat and broke it right in 2. So you never know, if that might dry out and just, you don't know about it. Two balls, 2 strikes, none out. Larry Wolf. Good size lead off first. The pitch to Fred is in the dirt, ball 3. Munson made a fine stop. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Eddie Yost flashing out the sign. So Larry Wolf, a possible hit and run here in a situation with the count 3-2. Here's the pitch. There goes Wolf, and a line drive. It's off the glove of Spencer into right field. There goes Wolf, rounding second, coming into third base as Mercer picks the ball up and throws it into second. That ball was a shot. Spencer, who was on first base, holding Larry Wolf on. As soon as the pitch was thrown, he broke off the bag, and Freddie Lynn just ripped it. And Spencer on the move could not get that ball in his glove. It must have hit off the heel of it and then bounded into right field, but it was hit hard. And the Red Sox threaten here, runners at first and third. That's a base hit. Jimmy Rice coming up. He struck out in the second. New York infield playing back, looking for the double play, willing to give up the run. Here's the pitch to Jim, swung on and missed the strike. Looks like the slider. Guidry got it down that time. Bob Watson's on deck. None out here. The Red Sox with a serious threat. The pitch from Guidry is inside, a fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Guidry working fast. Now he gets that ball from Munson and gets right back on the rubber. Has a sign. Stops and throws, and there's a foul ball off to the right in the stand. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jimmy Rice a little late on that swing. Guidry had a little bit on it. Now he wants a new ball. Take 10 seconds for station identification on the Boston Red Sox radio network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
There's a pitch from Guidry. Swung on and missed, strike three. A good sinker. Tough pitch by Guidry. Kept it down to Jim Rice. Really took Jimmy tough. Big strikeout for the left-hander. That's 6 strikeouts for him. That'll bring up Bob Watson with 1 out. Bucky Dent now talking to Willie Randolph around second base. And they're making sure what they want to do in case the ground ball is hit. Who's covering? In case Freddie Lynn might see side or Don Zimmer might put the steal sign on or hit and run sign here. Who's going to cover on that particular play? Here's the first pitch. It's swung on and missed for a strike. The slider, and Guidry really working hard here in a tough jam. There's 1 out. Larry Wolf to third. Freddie Lynn in second. First, excuse me. Pitch is a ground ball to second base. Randolph up with it. The second for 1. Back to first. Double play. And the Yankees get out of it. After 3.5, no score.
Going into the action tonight, let's look at the leading players in various categories. In batting in the American League, Smalley, Minnesota, 363. Bachty, Seattle, 348. Down in California, 347 average. Kemp, 344 clip. And Brett of Kansas City hitting 335. Leading batters in the National League, Foster, Cincinnati at 343. Hendricks, St. Louis, 342. Mazzelli of the Mets, 333. Rose of the Phillies, 332. And Winfield of San Diego at 330. Home run leaders, National League, Kingman of Chicago with 26. Schmidt of the Phillies, 21. Foster of the Reds, 19. Lopes of the Dodgers, and Simmons of the Cardinals, 18. American League home run leaders, Lynn of Boston, 19. Thomas, Milwaukee, 18. Rice, Boston, 17. Singleton, Baltimore, and Grich, California, 16. RBI leaders in the National League, Foster, Cincinnati, 65. Kingman, Chicago, 60. Winfield, San Diego, 55. Simmons, St. Louis, and Clark, San Francisco, 52. In the American League, Lynn of Boston has 63 RBIs. Baylor, California, 60. Bachty, Seattle, 57. Rice of the Red Sox and Thomas of the Brewers, 54. Stolen bases, Marino, Pittsburgh, 30 in the National League. North of the Giants, 29. Scott of the Cardinals, 24. Cedeno of Houston and Scott of Montreal, 22. American League, LaFleur, Detroit, 38. Wilson, Kansas City, 33. Cruz, Seattle, 23. Barnes, Cleveland. Otis, Kansas City. And Wills, Texas, 20 stolen bases.
Bottom of the 4th inning, no score in this ball game. Red Sox had a glaring opportunity last inning, but you got to credit Ron Guidry there. He pitched tough to Jim Rice and got Watson on the double play. The only thing you might say is the fact that you have to try to make him bring the pitch up with a man on third, at least try to get the fly ball, but it's easier said than done from up here. Guidry, when he's got his stuff going, keeps it down. Thurman Munson, the hitter. Thurman grounded out to third base in the first inning. Chunky catcher steps in the box. Perez ready, and he swings and misses strike 1. A good slider by Perez. Butch Hobson back at third base. Here's the pitch to Munson inside, a fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Munson at one time, when he first came up, just started hitting the ball good, would run a lot. You'd have to play him in even with the bag. There's a foul off to the left side behind home.
Rico, Baltimore got a run in the 3rd inning in the 2nd game of their twilight doubleheader. They won the first game 6-1 over the Blue Jays. They're leading 1-0 at the end of 3. Pat Kelly had a home run in the 3rd. Stone and Huffman are pitching.
Look at those guys' blood tests. There's something. Munson back in the box now. The count's 1-2 on him. Bottom of the 4th, no score. Perez throws, and the ground ball towards third base. Hobson up with it. Throws over to first base in time to get Munson. 1 out. Bobby Mercer flied out to left field, deep to left field, and Jimmy Rice made a fine running catch on him towards the line. And got a great standing ovation when he came out here, when the Yankees took the field, and then when he came up for his first at bat. First time the fans have seen Bobby in a long time. Torres has a sign, kicks and throws to Mercer, and he takes it inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Butch Hopkins playing on the grass at third base. Outfield plays Bobby straight away and deep. Pitches a line drive right at Carl Yastrzemski. Mercer is out. He didn't really hit the ball that hard. He hit it off the end of the bat. There's 2 out. Lou Piniella. Everyone who books Crimson Travel special 10-day Bermuda package at the Inverary Hotel. Sweet Lou grounded out to third base in the second inning.
He never knows if he's getting booed or not because they're all hollering Lou when he comes up there.
Instead of booing him, they throw paper airplanes at him. He takes a strike outside. No balls, 1 strike to Lou. Well, he's just a fine hitter. He's always been an outstanding hitter all his career. He hits the tough pitch, goes with it. It's strike 2 on the outside corner. Took both balls, just looked at them go by. They were both excellent pitches right at the knees on the outside corner. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Mike Torres. It's the ball inside. Mike tried to get that fastball in on Piniella. Got it a little too far inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lou has good power to left field. He'll hit the ball the opposite way in the gap. Doesn't hit the ball out that much out of the park. There's a swing and foul back behind home plate. Count stays at 1-2. Of course, in this ballpark, we've seen him hit home runs to right field, but it's 310 down the line, and the straightaway right is 353. So a right-hander with half-decent power the opposite way can hit it out. But go into left center and center, boy, you gotta really rip one.
Used to be lower, and Skowron used to be able to golf them out that way.
Elston Howard, too, he would hit him that way. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Torres. A ground ball up the middle. This ball's going to go through into center field for a base hit. And Piniella rounding first base, coming into second for the time for the double. He's out at second base. It's Freddie Lynn makes the throw in, and the tag is made, and that's it for the Yankees. After 4 complete, no score.
Debbie Austin survived 3 rain delays today that turned her around the golf into a 7-hour march through the mud. Score of 1 under par 71 that gave her a 3-shot lead at the midway point of the $150,000 LPGA tournament at the Dearborn Country Club in Dearborn, Michigan. The rain, which halted the morning round contestants for periods of 42 minutes, 30 minutes, and 1 hour 48 minutes, limited the 2 lowest rounds to a pair of 70s and kept the golfers on the course until the approach of dusk. Rounds are being completed in a steady drizzle, and it was unsure whether the final golfers would have to finish Saturday morning. Defending champion Sandra Post posted a 73 after her opening 70 and was in a group of 4 at 1 under 143. Judy Rankin shot a 1 under 71 to also finish in a tie for second with a 143 total. Sally Little, meanwhile, shot one of the 270s for her 143, and tour rookie Beth Daniels shot par to gain the deadlock. Austin from Boynton Beach, Florida, posted a 34 in the back 9, which he played first, but her rain interrupted second 9 total 37 strokes. She and Barbara Barrow of Chula Vista, California, each shot 69 in the opening round. Updating the scoreboard in the American League 2.5, Seattle 1, Milwaukee 1. National League, Montreal and Pittsburgh. After 4, it's the Bucks 6, the Expos 2.
It's the New England Chrysler Plymouth Steelers home run inning, and Carl Yastrzemski is up there right now batting for A.C. Todd of Fort Fairfield, Maine. Yastrzemski batting for A.C. Todd of Fort Fairfield, Maine. He swings and misses, strike 1. First time up, he grounded out to first base with the pitcher recovering. Strike on Yastrzemski. The pitch from Guidry is a strike called breaking ball on the outside corner at the knees. 1 and 2. Red Sox have 2 hits. The Yankees have 1. There is no score. The hit by Piniella was the first hit they've had off Mike Torres. pitches very well in this park. Pitch. There's a shot up the middle and through into center field, and Yaz is on. Off the glove, or almost off the glove at least, of Guidry. Line shot to center by Yastrzemski. So he's on first base. Now, Butch Hobson will bat for Patrick Casella of 18 Belvedere Avenue in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Hobson batting for Patrick Casella of Belvedere Avenue, Pittsfield, Mass. He has fouled out to the first baseman. Runner on first, nobody out on the fifth inning. Sox had a chance in the last inning, but a double play bailed them out. Front of the mound, Guidry has it. Looks to second, throws to first. Hobson is retired. And it is 1-3 on the sacrifice. Yastrzemski moves over to second. And now, up at the plate is Dwight Evans, who is batting for David Peoples of Russell Road in Blandford, Massachusetts. Evans batting for David Peoples, P-E-E-B-L-E-S, Peoples of Blandford, Massachusetts. Runner on second, one man out. He pops up to second his first time. A fine catch made on him by Willie Randolph out in shallow right field. Guidry with a look toward Yaz. Now the pitch on the way. Check swing, a look toward first, and he did not go through with it. It's ball one. 1 ball, no strikes. Yankee dugout giving Russ Getz, the first base umpire, a little heat on that call. Guidry to the set, and the pitch on the way, and this one is inside and low. Ball 2, 2-0. Red Sox had runners at first and third in the fourth with one out, and Guidry worked out of trouble. Breaking ball swung on and missed. 2-1. That was the slider down. 2 balls, 1 strike on Evans. Yastrzemski on second base. And the pitch hit on the ground to third. Nettles has it. Throws on to first base for the out. Yaz holding at second. Remember, you... Bob Montgomery is up with 2 out and Yastrzemski on second. Back in the lineup tonight for the first time. Just put back on the active list today, and his first time up, he doubled deep to center field. Now Thurman Munson is getting a new baseball from the plate umpire Ken Kaiser. 2 out with a runner on second base. No score in the 5th inning. Guidry is ready, and the pitch. Fastball on the outside corner for a called strike. Belt high, 0-1. Outfield playing straight away. The pitch to Montgomery. Fastball, strike 2. This one down around the knees. No ball, 2 strikes to count. Burleson is on deck. Guidry to the belt. Here's the pitch. Fastball outside, and he's 1-2 with Montgomery.
They're trying to pitch him on the inside. With a guy that's throwing like he is, it's tough to go out there because you got that slider.
He's outside again, and it's 2-2. He's got to be up there about 95 miles an hour right now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Yastrzemski on second base. Guidry is ready. And the pitch on the way. Montgomery swings and misses, strike 3. After 4 1/2 innings, it is 0-0.
Let's check the scoreboard now with some baseball scores in the American League after 3. Seattle and Milwaukee all tied up at 1-1. 1.5. Cleveland leads Detroit 1-0. Wilkenfuss home run for the Tigers in the second. Nobody on his 5th of the year. Second game, Toronto and Baltimore. It's still the Orioles 1 and the Blue Jays 0. Baltimore took the first one 6-1. Seattle, Milwaukee 2.5. The Brewers won. The Mariners won. Jones a home run for Seattle, his 15th of the year. It came on the first with nobody on. Chicago and Minnesota underway at Bloomington. After 1.5, the Twins lead the White Sox 1-0. California at Kansas City, no score. After 2.5, Oakland at Texas 1.5. The Rangers won and the A's 0. National League. Philadelphia, St. Louis, First of a doubleheader at Busch Stadium after 7.5. Still the Phillies 8, the Cardinals 7. Montreal and Pittsburgh 4.5. Pittsburgh leads Montreal. That score is 6-2. Houston and San Diego will start in about 40 minutes. Hour or so away is Atlanta at Los Angeles and Cincinnati at San Francisco. Football note, the Denver Broncos today said quarterback Tom Sorley, who led Nebraska to the Big 8 championship and an Orange Bowl berth in 1978, had signed a free agent contract with the NFL club. The signing increases Denver's quarterbacking core to 5, including veterans Craig Morton, Norris Weiss, and Greg Penrose, along with second-year pro Jeb Blunt.
Mike Torres has finished his warm-up. A reminder, the Red Sox will be back home on July 3rd, next Tuesday, for 3 games with Kansas City, 7:30 on the 3rd and the 4th, and a 1 o'clock game on Thursday, July 5th. The last visit of the Royals to Fenway during the regular season. Then they have an 8-game homestand following the All-Star break against Seattle, California, and Oakland. Now we have Reggie Jackson up in the last half of the 5th inning. No score in the game. He struck out in his first appearance in the second. The pitch to him, he swings and misses. Strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. Jackson, Nettles, and Spencer, the scheduled batters here in the 5th. No score in the game. Outfield around to it right on Reggie. They call time for the moment. Now he's ready. Torres rocks and delivers, and the pitch is swung on and missed. It's a tough slider, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes on Reggie Jackson, who backs out of the box. Now Reggie moves in again. Torres delivers, and the 0-2 pitch is fouled off the foot of Jackson. Out holding it, strike 2. Jackson. He taps his spike, standing outside the box. Now, again, he is ready. Torres checks with Montgomery, and the 0-2 pitch comes in, just missing outside, 1-2. Torres tonight has struck out 3. He has walked 1. He's given up the 1 hit to Piniella. That ended the 4th inning when Lou tried to stretch it into a double, attempting to use the element of surprise. The pitch swung on and missed. He got him. Jackson is the 4th strikeout for Mike Torres. 1 out in the last half of the 5th inning. And the batter now is Nettles. Torres, a couple of Yankees who would prefer to remain unidentified, has told me in this ballpark he can be very tough because he doesn't have to be as fine as he is at Fenway. He can challenge more. He's been challenging tonight. Nettles looks at an off-speed pitch that's in for a call strike, 0-1. No balls in 1 strike. Here comes the pitch, and it's taken high for a ball, and it is 1-1. He mentioned in that second game, Baltimore is ahead of Toronto 1-0 now at the end of 4. Baltimore won the first game by a score of 6-1. Cleveland is leading Detroit 1-0 after an inning and a half. Milwaukee and Seattle 1-1 at the end of 2. Chicago did not score in the first inning at Minnesota. California and Kansas City no score after 2. The pitch is grounded foul over to the first base dugout. Taking a look at the other games, it's Texas 1 and Oakland 0 at the end of 1. New York at Chicago today was postponed, rain in the National League. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the pitch. It is low, and the count is 2-2. 1 out, 5th inning, no score at Yankee Stadium, New York, in the first game of 4 between the Red Sox and the Yankees. Torres taking his time. Now, too much time. Pittsburgh is leading Montreal 4-2 at the end of 3.5 innings of play. And later, Houston's at San Diego. The pitch Ground ball to first. Yaz has it. He will play it alone for the out. Nettles is retired. 2 down. And rounding out the scoreboard for you for the moment, Atlanta's at Los Angeles. Cincinnati plays the Giants at Candlestick. 2 out, bases empty in the 5th inning for New York, and the batter is Jim Spencer, the first baseman, who grounded out to Yastrzemski in the 3rd inning. Bob Montgomery catching. Yaz at first. Larry Wolf at second tonight. Burleson at short. Hobson at third. Rice, Lynn, and Evans from left to right in the outfield. The pitch on the way. Foul back to the screen. Strike 1. 0-1. Tomorrow, Bob Stanley and Louis Tiant. 2:15 ball game. Eckersley and Hunter on Sunday, and Monday night, Joel Finch and Tommy John. The ball, 1 strike to count. The pitch is a slider in for a strike call. 0-2 on Jim Spencer.
I tell you, Perez is really throwing the heck out of the ball. He is. We're talking about Guidry. He's throwing the ball maybe even better than Guidry.
Here comes, and there's a ground ball to first base. Yastrzemski has this one. That's all at the end of 5 innings of play. 0-0.
Let's check some other stories in sports. In golf at Memphis, Tennessee, Australian Jack Newton Jr. welding a new putter that brought him 5 birdies, shot a 4 under par 68 today for a 1-stroke lead after the 2nd round of the $300,000 Memphis Golf Classic. The 29-year-old golfer, who was in 4th place with 10 other players after first round 70, began with a bogey Friday, but then bagged 5 birdies. Tour veteran J.C. Snead hit 2 balls in the water, netting himself a double bogey and a bogey, but still managed a 2 under par 70 for a 36-hole total of 139. That's 1 shot behind Newton. Newton is trying to put behind the disappointment of last week's Canadian Open, where he came into the final round in 3rd place, and then had to settle for 13th after a disastrous 8 over par final round. Snead's first problem on the Colonial Country Club course came on the opening hole and resulted in his first bogey. 3 additional birdies on the back 9 put Snead back into contention and gave him a 1-stroke lead over 3 golfers, tied for 3rd place at 140. They were George Johnson, who had his 2nd consecutive 70, Bob Barham, who had a 69, and Cesar Sanudo, who shot 68. Updating the baseball scoreboard again. American League 2nd game at Memorial Stadium, Baltimore. The Orioles holding on to a shaky 1-0 lead over the Toronto Blue Jays in the senior circuit after 5 innings of play. Pittsburgh still leads Montreal by a score of 6-2. The California Angels, nothing more on Cleveland, Detroit. The game was held up for some 40 minutes because of rain. Perhaps if stop play again with the 1-0 Cleveland over Detroit. That is after 1.5. Chicago, Minnesota, 2 innings. The Twins over the White Sox. That score is 2-0.
We're back at Yankee Stadium. Burleson is up in the 6th inning. The pitch, and he has a check swing. He did not go for it. And the count now on Rick is 2 balls and 1 strike. Although the scoreboard has it at 1-2. Indication was safe, but Burleson has been up twice. Pitch to him. He hits a line drive into left field for a base hit. Rick Burleson drills a single into left field to open up the 6th inning. And, of course, one of the questions here tonight, as far as Ron Guidry is concerned, this is his first appearance since the 12th of June when he had to leave the game against Minnesota. After 7 innings, he had a muscle strain in his upper back. And so this is his first outing. He's been throwing very well. But I suppose there is some question as to how long he can keep it up. He's looked tough. There's a throw to first. The runner is back safely.
Yeah, he's starting to get that breaking ball up a little bit now out over the plate. That one for Burleson was right down the middle.
Red Sox have 4 hits. The Yankees have just 1. And as Rico pointed out, here's the pitch, and Wolf going to bunt. Lays off and takes ball 1 as the first and third baseman were charging in. But Guidry, of course, is such an overpowering pitcher. He struck out 7 men. That he is brilliant, but Perez has been very tough tonight in his own right. The pitch inside and low, and the count is ball 2. Again, Larry Wolf looking like he might bunt. He's been called out on strikes and has drawn a walk.
Now, the Red Sox look down at every pitch to Eddie Yost. In other words, if on the first pitch the bunt is called, then it's and the ball is fouled off or whatever, then it's not automatically on the second pitch.
There's a throw to first. They've got Burleson in a rundown. A throw over to the shortstop and back to the center, and they pick him off. He had started to move, and Guidry ticked him. 1-3-6-3. Burleson had started to make his move towards second, and Guidry fired it over to first base.
That had to be a hit and run. The only reason he would be going. Oh, I take that back. He could have just been trying to look for a good lead and leading the other way, and Guidry threw it over there and caught him going the other way. But it was either that or a hit and run. And Rick left a little too early.
Larry Wolf just backed out as called time as Guidry spots it up there. Now he looks at his strike, and the count goes to 2-1. Scoreboard has it at 3-0, but it's a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Line drive, center field. Rivers going back, and he is there, and he makes the catch for the out. So there are 2 men out in the 6th inning for Boston. We take a 10-second break on the Boston Red Sox radio network. This is Ken Coleman with Rico Petrocelli at Yankee Stadium, New York, and the batter is Glenn. Breaking ball is outside at low ball 1. We welcome the American Forces Network, some 350 stations. Joining us tonight around the world, pitches high for a ball. Lynn has struck out, has singled out to right field. One of the 4 Boston hits against this brilliant left-hander. The 2-ball pitch from Ron. Foul back upstairs and out of play. 2-1. One of the great stories about Ron Guidry is the story of his young brother, who is an exceptional youngster. Guidry is very, very close to him, as are the parents who are thrilled with what he does in his own way. Pitch is up and in. Lynn has to go down. 3-1. There are 2 men out here in the 6th inning for the Red Sox. And now the pitch to Fred. He swings and misses. 3-2. Like the slider down. Guidry has walked 1, and every time he gets 2 strikes on somebody, this big partisan Yankee crowd really gets excited. The pitch to Freddie, hit on the ground on 1 hop to second. Willie Randolph throws over to first for the out. And after 5 1/2 innings of play, it is 0-0.
Well, veteran official Richie Powers has announced his retirement from officiating, and the NBA has fired 10 other officials following a vote by owners to revert back to the 2-official system. Powers, a 22-year veteran, was involved in a controversy last season when he called an illegal 3rd technical foul on New Jersey Nets coach Kevin Lockery. He says he is leaving under the best terms and hopes to remain with the league in some capacity. Supervisor of officials, Norm Drucker, says an agreement reached with the league and the National Association of Basketball Referees calls for dismissal of the 10 bottom officials based on a rating system. Meanwhile, the owners of the NBA Kansas City Kings have decided to remain in the city of Kansas City for at least another season. Majority stockholder Paul Rosenberg said the owners voted unanimously to stay in KC after receiving commitments from city officials and business community interests. But he refused to say if the team would remain past next season. Rosenberg says an offer from Minneapolis interests to purchase the team was unacceptable at this time. The team's future in Kansas City became clouded June 4th. That's when the roof of the Kemper Arena, the Kings' home court, collapsed during a driving rainstorm. The roof collapse compounded the Kings' worsening financial woes. The team has lost money every year since they moved to Kansas City from Cincinnati in 1972. Rosenberg said the major point of the owner's decision to remain in KC was the promise from city and business leaders to help in a ticket drive for next season.
Well, we're moving right along here at Yankee Stadium, and the dominating figures in the cast of characters tonight. Center stage, Right out there on that mound, Mike Torres and Ron Guidry. They have both been brilliant. Willie Randolph will lead off for New York. He had a walk in the third. He'll be followed by Bucky Dent, then Mickey Rivers. No score. Torres throws and misses outside at low, ball one. Randolph went in, batting .262. Pitch is a slider on the outside corner at the knees for a strike called. 1-1 on Willie. Right-handed batting second baseman. The 1-1 pitch for Mike. Hit sharply. Larry Wolf spears it on one hop, throws to first and makes the play. Good play by Wolf because as it went out to him, it took a little bit of a bad hop. Not a real tough one, but enough at least so that Wolf could recover and make the play. So we have one man out here in the sixth inning for the Yankees, and the batter is Bucky Dent, who was called out on strikes in the third inning. The first pitch is taken for ball one by Bucky. Outfield playing him just a step to it left. Pitch is taken for a ball, 2-0. He talked with Bucky on the dugout show before the ball game. Life changed somewhat after that dramatic moment in the playoff game. Pitch is inside, ball three. Yeah. Yeah, you're right there. A little heavy around the hips with carrying that wallet. 3-0. One out, sixth inning, no score. Torres delivers, and this is ball four outside. That is the second walk Mike has given tonight. And Dent is the third base runner of the evening. 2 walks and 1 hit. A single to center field by Piniella. So with 1 out and 1 on, here is Mickey Rivers. He has lined to Burleson at shortstop and flied to right in left field. First of a 4-game series. They play Saturday and Sunday afternoons and Monday night. And the Red Sox are home with Kansas City, July 3rd and 4th at 7:30 and the 5th at 1 o'clock. Pitch is inside for a ball. Bob Montgomery off the disabled list and back in action tonight. Rivers in his crouch. Fly ball to center field. Lynn is there. Backs up a couple of strides and makes the catch for the out. Rivers hits a routine fly ball to center, and there are 2 men out. And Thurman Munson is at the plate. He's been up twice and both times has grounded out to third. Dent is on first. And now Montgomery wants a word with Torres on the mound. And Mike Torres and Ron Guidry, who are pitching super baseball tonight. The way this is going, I don't know how much later, though.
I will make up for it. We'll have one for Bobby Mercer and Yaz.
Munson, as always, fixing his golf glove as he moves in. And now Torres gets ready. Dent with a very short lead. And the pitch swung on and foul tipped. And that shook up Montgomery, but he seems to be okay. 1 strike. Well, there was a ball there. Munson didn't know what to do with it. He finally handed it to Ken Kaiser, the plate umpire. No balls, 1 strike on Thurman. Torres was back in the grass. Now Mike comes up on the mound. No score, 6th inning. Right-hander ready, and the pitch on the way. It's taken inside. 1-1. strike, 2 out. Yes, holding against Dent at first base as Mike glances over. And now delivers, and it is fouled over by the Yankee dugout to the bat boy, and it's 1-2. Jonathan Schwartz, now an author, written his first novel here tonight, rooting for the Red Sox. And Jeffrey Lyons, well-known radio personality, as his dad was a famous gentleman. He's a great Red Sox fan, and he's here. 1-2. Got action in the Yankee bullpen. Jim Cott and Ron Davis. Now both warming up. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Line drive into center field for a base hit. Dent to second base and holding near as Lynn comes up with the ball. Thurman Munson delivers in the clutch with a single to center. The Yankees have runners now at first and second. That is the second hit of the night for New York. And the batter will be Bobby Mercer with runners at first and second and 2 men out. No score. Big, noisy crowd on hand for the first game of the series. And we expect them that way for all 4 games. The only thing we're wondering about, frankly, for tomorrow and Sunday is the weather. The forecast is not very good. But you better believe they'll try to get him in. Runners at first and second base. Burleson is shaded over behind Dent, the man on second. Perez is set. The pitch on the way. Mercer lifts a high foul to right field out of play. Bobby got out in front of that ball and hit it about 25 feet foul and had the distance. It's only 310 down the line. The fence is a little higher, though, than it used to be. It used to be about 4 or 5 feet high. Nothing in one on Bobby Mercer.
I was going to say, Bobby swings there, an uppercut swing. Well, he likes that ball downstairs, and especially the fastball. Got to be very careful with him.
Perez gets set now. And he takes too much time for Bobby, who backs off. Mike Perez has won 138 games in his career. Here's the pitch. Fly ball high in the air towards center field. Backing up is Lynn. He's got room. And he takes it to retire the side. At the end of 6 in New York, it is 0-0.
Okay, we have some more baseball to report on. Cleveland, Detroit, 5 runs for the Indians at the top of the third. They lead Detroit now 6-1. California, Kansas City still no score after 2.5. Oakland and Texas tied up at 2-2 after 2.5. 3 innings, Minnesota 5, Chicago nothing. 4.5, the Brewers lead the Mariners 2-1. Second game at Baltimore, the Orioles have 2 more runs to add to the one they had in the third. They won the first one 6-1, so after 6 of the nightcap, Baltimore leading Toronto 3-0. National League, Montreal and Pittsburgh 5.5. Pittsburgh 6, Montreal 5. The Expos scoring 3 times at the top of the 6th. Those 3 runs on a home run by Hutton for the Expos in the 6th with 2 on. His first of the year. Gave it a good time. Again, the first game at St. Louis won by the Phillies 8-7. We should have the story on the game in a few moments. The Phillies 8 runs, 13 hits, no errors. Cardinals 7 runs, 13 hits, no errors. Saucier, the winner, he's 1-0. Forced a loser, he is 3-8. World champion John Walker gets one more shot at NCAA champion Don Page of Villanova in what is billed as the Magnificent Mile event at the East Coast Meet of Champions in Philadelphia Saturday. Walker, whose record of 3:49.4 has been in the book since 1975, ran his first mile of the year last week at the New Jersey Olympic Track Classic and finished second to Page.
After 6 full innings of play, it reads this way. Boston, no runs, 4 hits, no errors. New York, no runs, 2 hits, no errors. Into the 7th we go, and once again, Rico Petrocelli.
Hey, thanks a lot, Ken. What a ball game this is. Jimmy Rice will be the first hitter. Bob Watson and Yaz. Guidry out there. Cott still warming up. Davis out there also. Cott the left-hander, Davis the right-hander. Jimmy has struck out twice in this ball game. 2nd and 4th inning. set. He throws the breaking ball, misses outside. Ball one. Jimmy's hitting .321, 17 homers, 54 RBIs. There's a swing and a foul back behind home plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Flag blowing out towards left field, but I don't think it affects the ball that much in this stadium because it's so high here. We usually swirl around, but not a significant wind tonight. I don't think it would affect any ball. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Jim. Swung on a miss. Strike 2. A high fastball. Guidry still throwing hard. Mike Perez equal to the task. I'll say he's been something tonight also. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Oh. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch pops up to the right side, foul territory near the Yankee dugout. Munson over, Spencer over. Spencer makes the catch. What a catch by Spencer. Ball looked like it might go in the dugout. He was right on the top step and looked up and just snared the ball. Munson might have had a shot at it too, but the ball just kept going towards first base, and Spencer coming over made a fine play, so there's 1 out. Watson, the hitter. Yaz on deck. 6 hits in this ball game. 4 by the Red Sox, 2 by the Yankees. No runs. Guidry has a sign. Winds up, kicks and throws, and there's a fastball low. Ball 1-2. Watson taking it all the way. And a foul ball behind home plate. Count goes to 1-1. Guidry really works fast. He gets that ball back, turns around, steps on the rubber as he's doing now. Both feet on the rubber. Gets the sign. Kicks and throws, and a foul ball by Bob Watson behind home plate in the upper deck. Some good rips is at that. Just fouling them off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Top of the 7th inning, no score. 1 out. Time the count goes to 2 strikes. The man starts clapping and yelling for Guidry. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Ball's low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The fastball. Guidry, 160-pounder, 5'11". Very strong, wiry kid. The ball lined to left field down the line. A breaking pitch. That's in there for a hit. Lou Piniella coming up with it. Watson rounding first. Coming into second base, he slides in with a double. Bob Watson really got a hold of one and ripped it on the line. Towards left field, towards that left field line, and Piniella hustling over. Came up with the ball, but Watson hustling all the way himself. Down to the bag, just kept going. And he's on second base with 1 out. That'll bring up Carl Yastrzemski. Grounded out to first base and got a base hit to center. 1 for 2 on the night. With Thompson on deck. Here's the pitch to Yaz. Ball up high and away. Yaz takes it for ball 1. Now wants to see the ball. Once he gets the new ball, throws it out to Guidry. Has the sign. Watson leading off second base. Pitch to Yaz is outside. A breaking ball. 2 balls, no strikes. Yankees outfield gives Yaz all of left center field. Piniella towards the left field line, and Nicky Rivers over towards right center, and Mercer deep in right field. There's a strike on the outside corner. A breaking pitch. 2 balls, 1 strike to the captain. Back in the box, that closed stand, stands leaning forward. Pitch from Guidry is swung on in this strike 2. That was a breaking pitch. Took a little off of it. Had Carl way out in front. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bob Watson on second base. No score in this ball game. Top of the 7th. Guidry to the stop position. He kicks and throws, and swings and misses strike 3. Another breaking pitch. Really kept it down and away. Now here comes Billy Martin out to talk to Guidry. 8 strikeouts for the left-hander. He is something. Picking up 5 hits. The Red Sox have threatened a few times and not able to come up with the run. Jim Codd out in the bullpen. Davis, the right-hander. And Billy Martin running back in the dugout. Guidry's going to stay in there. Butch Hobson's coming up to home plate. Bob Watson on second base. 2 outs. Scoreless ball game at the top of the 7th. Tremendous crowd on hand. Hobson in the box. Guidry set, throws, and there's a foul behind home plate. Not a bad pitch to hit there. Guidry got that ball up a little bit, out over the plate, which had a good grip and fouled it off. Bob Watson with a big lead off second base. The outfield playing deep and straight away on Hobson. Guidry kicks and throws, and there's a fastball inside that moves Hobson off the plate. 1-1. 2 outs. Tense moment here. We have a few in this ball game. Here's the pitch from Guidry. A shot for center field. It's deep. Mickey Rivers going back. He has a beat on it. He's under it, and he makes the play for the out. That's it for the Red Sox after 6.5. No score.
Greg Luzinski drove in 4 runs tonight, stroked 4 hits, including a game-tying triple in the 6th inning to lift the Philadelphia Phillies to an 8-7 victory over the St. Louis Cardinals in the first of a 20 doubleheader. Luzinski's 2-run triple in the 6th inning off Bob Forge, who's now 3-8, tied the game 7-7. And Gary Maddox followed with a tie-breaking sacrifice fly. Kevin Saucier, now 1-0, pitched 2 shutout innings to gain his first Major League victory. Tuck McGraw shut out the Cardinals over the last 3 frames to record his 7th save. Bowling note from Seattle, the battle for the top seed position grew tighter Friday when 4th-round leader Jeff Mattingly of Tacoma, Washington, lost and then regained the top spot after 5 rounds of the $70,000 Seattle Open. Mattingly leads second-place Marshall Holman by 20 pins with 8 games remaining before the top 5 spots are determined for Saturday's final round. Mattingly temporarily fell to second place after bowling games of 170 and 167 midway through the round, closed with games of 276 and 230 to surpass Holman, who had surged into contention with games of 206, 257, 213, 217, 236, 236, 221, and 246. Holman averaged 229 for the 8 games, winning 5 of them. He now totals 8,146 for the tournament against Mattingly's total of 8,166.
We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. No score in this ball game, and Baltimore Orioles ahead 3-0 in the 7th inning of their second game with twilight doubleheader with Toronto.
Rico, you just mentioned an interesting thing as we were away for the commercial. This is a kind of a game, and you know because you've been there, that players can be drained.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Emotionally, it's the first game of the 4-game series. It's a big one, even though neither club is in first place. But it's the team that loses, is going to feel it a little bit more, especially tomorrow. The team that wins, naturally you feel good. You bounce back. Well, we got a beauty here. Bottom of the 7th inning. Lou Piniella, the first hitter, grounded out the 3rd, got a base hit. Tried to make it to second base, was thrown out by Freddie Lynch. There's a foul off to the left side on the ground past third base coach Mike Ferrara. No balls, 1 strike to Lou. Reggie Jackson on deck. Mike Torres doing an outstanding job, giving up just 2 hits for the Yankees. Munson and Piniella. Struck out 4. Here's the pitch. Fouled off again. This time behind home plate. To the left of home plate. Count goes to no balls, 2 strikes to Lou Piniella. So Mike Torres getting ahead. Piniella, fine hitter. Great hitter. All fields, good hit power to left field. Butch Hobson at third base is playing close to the line, 4 or 5 steps behind third base. Mella out of the box, taking his time. Gets back in the box now. Now he's out again. Wants to see the ball now. Perez throws it in. Kaiser, the home plate umpire, looks at it, gives it back to Montgomery. And Perez gets it back. No balls, 2 strikes on 3-2. Perez gets the sign. Throws, and that's a slider outside. Trying to keep it down at the knees. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Pinella. The Sox are playing Pinella straight away and deep in left-end center, heading in right field. It's a fly ball to left field. Jimmy Wright takes a few steps back near the warning track, looks up, and he makes the play on the warning track. Long out to left field by Lou Pinella, long fly ball. Not seem to hit it that well. That'll bring up Reggie Jackson. Reggie is struck out both times, 2nd and 5th innings. Greg Nettles on deck. Away from the plate, little crouch. Sends a long drive to right field. Lynn going back near the 385 sign. He's looking up. He jumps up and makes the play. A long drive by Reggie Jackson right by the 385 sign. And Freddie Lynn got a good jump on that ball. He was right there. And he leaped up and made the play for a long out. And Jackson stirs the crowd up a little bit. That'll bring up Greg Nettles. Is struck out in the 2nd and grounded to Yaz unassisted. Steps out of the box. Now he's back in. Pitch is a ground ball to 2nd. Wolf up with it. Over to first base, Diaz in time, and that's it for the Yankees. After 7 complete, no score.
Let's check the scoreboard now. Some other games going. In the 2nd game at Baltimore of the American League, it's 3-0 Orioles still over Toronto. And let's see if we can update that scoreboard right now. Nothing new as of the moment. It's still the Orioles in the driver's seat, leading by 3 runs. They took the first game again. That score was 6-1. Other American League action, Chicago at Minnesota, 4 innings of play. It's still the Twins leading the White Sox by a score 4-0. Cleveland, Detroit. That game is in the home fourth. It's still 6-1 Indians. Seattle, Milwaukee, 5 innings, 2-1 Brewers. And Chicago, Minnesota, we gave you that score just a few moments ago. Here's 3 innings of play from Arlington, Texas. The Rangers lead Oakland 5-2. California, Kansas City, 2-1 Angels over the Royals. Looking at the National League, first game again, the Phillies beat the St. Louis Cardinals 8-7. Second game is just getting underway. Montreal, Pittsburgh, they're finished 6, and it's still 6-5 Expos. A lot of home runs in the ball game. Robinson of the Bucks is 18th of the year in the first. Nobody on. Lacey, Pittsburgh in the first. Nobody on his 3rd of the year. White from Montreal in the 4th. Nobody on his 2nd of the year. And again, Hutton had a big blow for the Montreal Expos, his 1st of the year. It came in the 6th over the fence with 2 men on base. Just getting underway at San Diego, the Padres are hosting the Houston Astros.
Top of the 8th inning, no score in this ball game. Dwight Evans the hitter. Here's Ken Coleman with the play-by-play. Very much so, Paul.
Right corner at the knees. 0-1. 1 strike on Evans, who is popped to 2nd and grounded out to 3rd base. The outfield playing him straight away as Guidry delivers, and he swings and misses. 0-2. Over the first 7 innings of this ball game, Mike Perez has pitched to only 24 Yankees, and Guidry has pitched to 25 Red Sox. 5 hits for Boston, 2 hits for New York. Guidry delivers, and the slider is low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Evans will be followed by Montgomery, and then Burleson. Here's the windup and the pitch on the way. Foul to right field, out of play into the upper deck. 1-2 the count. No score as we start this 8th inning. Guidry has struck out 8 men. He's walked but 1. The pitch, check swing foul into the upper stand. This is Ron's first appearance against the Red Sox this year. He won all 3 of his decisions last year, a pair of back-to-back 2-hit shutouts, and the pennant-clinching win of the playoff game October 2nd against the Reds. Pitch is swung on a miss, strike 3. Low outside fastball, and that is strikeout number 9 for Ron Guidry. 1 out in the 8th inning for the Red Sox, and the batter now is Bob Montgomery. And if you're joining us late, he was just reactivated today, came off the disabled list in the first time up. He doubled to center field, and in the 5th inning, he struck out swinging. The pitch to Montgomery. Fastball outside, ball 1. Johnny Teskey to coach at first, Eddie Yost working at third. Guidry does not take much time. The pitch on the way, and it's swung on a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. 155-pound left-hander. Into his motion, and the 1-1 pitch to Montgomery. Strike 2 on the outside corner above the knees. He is threading the needle. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here it comes. Fastball is outside and up a little bit. 2-2 on Bob. Montgomery steps out of the box to slow the pace just a little. Moves back in. The windup, and the left arm comes around, and it is foul back upstairs, and the count holds at 2-2. Canella playing a very deep left field. Rivers straight away in center. Mercer straight away in right. Here comes the pitch. Outside, ball 3. 3-2 on Montgomery. 1 out in the 8th. No score. Here comes the 3-2 pitch, and Montgomery lines one into center field for a base hit. Taken on a couple of hops by Rivers, and with 1 out, Bob Montgomery is on first base. When he came back, Mike O'Berry optioned out to Pawtucket. Now Burleson will take a 10-second break on the Boston Red Sox radio network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
One out, and Montgomery on first, and the batter is Burleson. He has struck out twice, and last time he singled to left field. The set, the pitch. Outside, ball 1. The last inning, they had Davis and Cott warming up in the bullpen. No runs, 6 hits for the Red Sox. No runs, 2 hits for the Yankees. The pitch to Burleson. Fastball in there for a strike called. 1-1. Jim Spencer is holding against Montgomery at first base. Down for the side. The pitch, foul, back of the plate into the upper stand. Nice catch up there. They're applauding everything here tonight. Fellow on the first row nailed that one. 1-2. Burleson waving the bat back and forth. Guidry is ready. Here's the pitch. Low, and the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes. And just to lighten the load a little, Houston at San Diego, the game has been delayed a half an hour for the rebirth of the San Diego Chicken. Oh, well. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fly ball down the right field line, and it's going to be foul and up into the stands as Bobby Mercer looks just about 8 rows up into the seats in front of the pole. 2-2 on Burleson. 1 out and 1 on, and Larry Wolf is on deck, playing second base tonight in place of Jerry Remy, with a left-hander on the mound. Ron Guidry working for the first time since the 12th of June when he had muscle spasms in his back at Minnesota. 2-2. Chant now from the crowd. Here's the pitch, and it's taken low. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Full count on Burleson. Rivers plays him over toward right center field. Mercer toward the line and right. Canella straight away and left. 1 out, 1 on. The pitch on the way. Ground ball into left field for a base hit. Montgomery going over to second, and he's coming on to third base. The throw will go to second, and Burleson is on with a single. Montgomery was breaking with the pitch, and the shortstop, Dent, went over toward second base to cover it, and he hit one right through the spot he vacated. Burleson has a single to left field, and the Red Sox have runners at first and third with 1 out in the 8th inning, and the batter now is the second baseman, Larry Wolf. He's been called out on strikes. He has walked, and he has flied out to center field. Hit number 7 for Boston, and double-barreled action now in the Yankee bullpen. Guidry looks to a Dent. Points at something. And now he's getting ready. Davis and Trott are warming up. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's in for a strike call, 0-1. Davis went 2 2/3 innings last night and got the win at Toronto in relief of Tommy John. He's been a workhorse for this team. He is 6-0. Here's the 0-1 delivery, and Wolf looks at a ball outside. 1-1 on Larry. Fred Lynn is on deck. Red Sox runners at first and third with 1 out. No score. Guidry throws, and Wolf looks at a slider for a strike call. 1-2. Canella plays him a little bit toward the line, and Rivers is a step toward right center field, so the gap is in left center. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Guidry leans down for the sign. Now the left-hander goes to the belt. The pitch on the way, and it is foul back to the screen, and the count holds at 1-2 on Wolf. Larry back out of the box. Montgomery sticking close at third. The infield is playing at double play depth. Now the steps and the pitch on the way, and he just managed to get his bat on that one. Check swinging. And it is 1-2. Red Sox and the Yankees in a real duel here in the first of 4 games. They play tomorrow and Sunday afternoons and Monday night. Guidry goes back on the grass for a moment. And now the little lefty is back up on the hill again. And takes a little too much time, and Wolf steps out. A tense situation for everybody. Burleson perched on first. Montgomery is at third. The 1-2 pitch. Wolf lines one into left field for a base hit. Montgomery's on to score. Burleson over to second. It is 1-0 Boston. As Larry Wolf singles into left field, and Bob Montgomery has scored. Rick Burleson goes to second. And Larry Wolf comes through with a big blow. And now Fred Lynn comes to the plate, with Boston leading 1-0 here in the 8th. 1 out. Lynn has struck out swinging, single to right field, grounded out to second. Larry Wolf on first, and Rick Burleson on second. Lynn at the plate and Wright on deck. Guidry is ready. Left-hander throws, and there is a check swing, but he went through with it. Strike one. No balls, one strike. Now Kaiser, the plate umpire, looking over to the Boston dugout. We're going to get a runner. Jerry Remy is going in to run for Wolf. So Jerry Remy goes to first base. And Larry Wolf, who has done his job, leaves the ball game. He has driven in the only run of the game here in the top half of the eighth inning. Remy on first now, and Burleson on second. Fred Lynn waiting at the plate, and Ken Kaiser, the plate umpire, wants to look at the baseball. Tosses it back out to Ron Guidry on the mound. The 0-2 pitch, way outside, low, and the count is 1-2. There is one out. It is 1-0 Red Sox in the eighth. Now the set and the pitch. Ground ball down to first. Spencer has it over to second for one. Back over to first base. Double play. And that's all. The Red Sox are out in the eighth. We go to the last half of the eighth inning. Boston leads it 1-0.
Almost a capacity crowded Yankee Stadium for the game tonight. This is an old rivalry. I was thinking about that a while ago. This goes way, way back. The Red Sox and the Yankees. The Yankees of the 1930s with Lou Gehrig and Joe DiMaggio, Bill Dickey, and the Red Sox, of course, with Lefty Grove, Old Morse, along with Jimmy Fox at first base, and, of course, later on Ted Williams in the outfield, and the younger brother of Jolton Joe DiMaggio, Dom DiMaggio, out in center field, the little professor who some say perhaps is the best all-around outfielder of all time. As far as defense is concerned, he was great out in center field. So this rivalry does go way back. Joe Cronin managing the old Boston Red Sox, and Joe McCarthy with those great years in the 30s and 40s for the club from the Big Apple. This game is going to go right down to the wire. 1-0 Red Sox lead. They go into this ball game this evening with second place in the East. The Baltimore Orioles have already won their first game, and the Orioles entrenched right up there 4 games in front of the Bo Sox. Let's update the scoreboard again in the National League after 7.5 innings of play. It's still the Pittsburgh Pirates leading the Montreal Expos by a score of 6-5. Here's an update on the Toronto-Baltimore second game. It's still goose eggs on the board for Toronto after 7.5.
Home at Yankee Stadium in New York, Rico Petrocelli has gone downstairs for the star of the game show. Jerry Remy, who went in to run for Larry Wolf, remains in the game at second. And leading off for New York will be Jim Spencer against Mike Torres, with Boston leading 1-0. Red Sox 1 run on 8 hits. The Yankees no runs on 2 hits. Spencer has been up twice, and both times has grounded out to Yastrzemski at first base. Spencer, Randolph, and Dent are the scheduled batters in the 8th. Torres is ready. Right-hander deals, and the pitch is swung on a miss, strike one. Good tough slider right in around the belt. 0-1. Torres has struck out 4 men. He has walked 2. The pitch. Fly ball toward right field. Coming on is Evans. He's there. He's got it for the out. 1 away in the Yankee 8th inning. 1-0 Boston. And the batter now, Willie Randolph. He has walked and grounded out to second base. The paid attendance tonight, 53,306. Baltimore is winning the second game at Toronto, with Toronto at Baltimore, 3-0 after 7 1/2. The Orioles won the first one 6-1. Randolph checks his swing and looks at ball 1 outside. He has walked and grounded to second. Torres kicks and throws, and this one is outside and low, ball 2. Over the first 7 innings, Torres pitched to 24 men. strikes on Randolph. 1 out in the 8th. The pitch. Outside and low. Ball 3. The Reds had the side in order in the first and in the second. He had walked a man in the third. Gave up a single in the fourth, but Pinella was out trying to stretch it to 2. The pitch is low, ball 4, and Randolph goes to first base. In the third, when he walked, he stole second. So now Montgomery goes to the mound, and Yastrzemski goes over to talk to Mike Torres. And they're getting people up out in the Boston bullpen. Bill Campbell is out there, and Dick Drago. Campbell and Drago warming up for the Red Sox. Bucky Dent has been called out on strikes and has walked. Randolph takes that big lead. Set by Mike. And he fires to first. The runner gets back safely. Dent went in with a .251 average, 1 home run, 18 runs batted in. The pitch to Bucky is a strike called on the outside corner knee high. 0-1. Set position, looking to it first. The pitch out. Nothing doing. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Scott and Davis are back throwing again for the Yankees. Campbell and Drago for Boston. 1-0 Red Sox. 1 out, 1 on. Last half of the 8th. Another throw to first, and again Randolph is back safely. Looking to it first again. The pitch. Drive toward right field, toward the line. It'll be taken on one hop by Evans. Streaking over to third base is Randolph. The Yankees have runners at first and third with 1 out. A single to right field by Bucky Dent. And the Yankees have a fresh going. Runners at first and third with 1 away. The third Yankee hit of the night. After the walk to Randolph with 1 out. That will bring Mickey Rivers to the plate as Carl Yastrzemski again goes over to talk to Mike Torres. Now it appears as though the infield is going to move in. Mickey Rivers is a very tough man to double. Somebody just below us, apparently with a cherry bomb or something, exciting this crowd here. Infield for Boston is in. Rivers has line to Burleson. Slide to left. Slide to center. Runners at first and third. 1 out. 1-0 Boston. The pitch. Rivers hits a ground ball to second. Remy throws to the plate. And he is out at home. Willie Randolph is thrown out at home. And the Yankees now have runners at first and second. And Billy Martin is out there arguing the call. A ground ball to the second baseman, Jerry Remy. He took it and fired it immediately into Bob Montgomery. Randolph appeared almost to be out of the baseline, and Montgomery tagged him out. And Billy Martin is out there arguing, not hard though, with Kaiser. Now he looks like he's saying, "Okay, I got you." So it goes 4-2. Out at the plate. Rivers reaching on the fielder's choice on the ground ball, and Dent moving to second. Now we have 2 men out. And the dangerous Thurman Munson. Munson has grounded to Hobson twice. And last time up, he singled into center field. Dent is the man on second. Rivers is on first base. 2 out in the 8th. 1-0 Boston. Munson talking to the plate umpire Kaiser. And he's asking for a look at the baseball. Kaiser takes a good look at it, and he's going to throw it out, and we're going to get a pinch runner at second. Roy White is going in to run for Dent. White on second base running for Bucky Dent. They want the speed on the base paths right now. Don Hood is now warming up out in the bullpen for New York. As Thurman Munson gets ready to square off with Mike Torres. White on second. Rivers on first. 1-0 Boston, 8th inning. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's in there for a strike called. 0-1. Bobby Mercer is on deck. Mercer is standing in waiting. Torres slowly, deliberately to the belt. And the pitch. Ground ball to the mound. Mike has it. Throws on to first base. This side is down. At the end of 8 innings, Red Sox 1 and the Yankees nothing.
Here's a boxing note now. WCC heavyweight champion Larry Holmes is reported today to have suffered a perforated left eardrum in his tough title defense against Mike Weaver last Friday. But his lawyer says Holmes has been told that the injury will heal itself and that he should be able to make a scheduled September 14th title defense against Ernie Shavers. Holmes, who stopped Weaver in the 12th round, also said Weaver had thumbed him in the left eye. And the medical report on that injury indicates no damage to the eye and predicts healing in a week or two. Here's a football note. Eagles running backs Mike Hogan and Jim Benderson were 2 of 8 people arrested today on charges of drug law violations involving cocaine. Camden County, New Jersey prosecutor John Mariano. So the arrest came as a result of a 2-month-long investigation, which extended into Philadelphia as well as Camden County. Mariano says in addition to Hogan and Benderson, among those arrested were former Eagles players Thomas Campbell and Will Wynn, along with Ron Maruri, who's described by the prosecutor's office as a former player in the defunct World Football League and for the National Football League's Atlanta Falcons. According to the Camden prosecutor, the men were charged with conspiracy to distribute cocaine on several days between May 22nd and June 20th of this year. He says Campbell, Bazell, and Johnson also have been charged with other related offenses. So we're about set at Yankee Stadium to go to the final inning as the Red Sox come to bat with a 1-run lead.
We go now into the 9th inning, and Ron Davis is on in relief of Ron Guidry, who pitched brilliantly tonight. He worked 8 innings. He gave up a total of 8 hits. He struck out 9 Red Sox. He walked 1, and he was really throwing hard. First time he's been able to start since the 12th of June, and now Davis comes on. This fellow's record, 6-0. His ERA 2.33. This will be his 15th appearance. He's worked 27 innings. He has allowed 27 hits. 1 of them a home run. He's walked 9, struck out 15. A right-hander. And Fred Stanley is the shortstop, replacing Bucky Dent, who is lifted for the pinch runner, Roy White. So we're into the 9th inning. 1-0 Red Sox. And if you want to look ahead, all Torres has to do in the 9th is face Mercer and Piniella and Jackson. So there is nothing more the Red Sox would like now but an insurance run or so. And Davis worked 2 2/3 innings last night in Toronto and got the win. He has done a brilliant job in relief in the absence of Gossage with the Yankee Ball Club. And the first man he'll face will be Rice, then Watson, and then Yastrzemski. So Jim Rice steps in. He has struck out twice and has fouled out the Spencer. Pitch is outside and low, ball 1. Spencer made quite a grab on him in the 7th inning, over by the Yankee dugout. The pitch bounced foul back of the plate. Davis from Houston, Texas. 6'4" tall, 205 pounds. He was acquired from the Cubs in exchange for Ken Holtzman last June. Right-hander works, and the sidearm pitch is outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Davis last year worked for West Haven most of the year. There's a drive going out into deep right center field, and this one is gone. Jimmy Wright has hit a home run over the fence in right center field, and the Red Sox have a 2-0 lead. Ron Davis serves up a home run pitch deep to right center field, and Wright has hit his 18th home run of the year. 2-0 Boston in the ninth. He really laced it. And now the batter is Bob Watson. Watson tonight has flied to center, has hit into a 4-6-3 double play, and doubled to left field. 2-0 Red Sox now. That was their ninth hit. Here's the pitch to Bob, and the sidearm fastball is over for a call strike. 0-1. Here it comes, outside with a ball. 1-1. Here's the windup and the pitch on the way. Breaking ball is outside and low. 2 balls, 1 strike to count on Watson. Evans, or rather Yastrzemski, is on deck. Pitch is low for a ball, and it's 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike on Bob Watson. Ron Davis, the right-hander, throws, and this one is in for a call strike. 3-2. The string is out. 2-0 Red Sox, 9th inning. Here comes the pitch. Ground ball to the mound. Davis has it on 1 hop. Flips over to first for the out. Watson has now been to the plate 50 times as a member of the Red Sox and has struck out just twice. 1 out, and the batter is Yastrzemski. Carl has grounded to first baseman Jim Spencer with a pitcher covering. He has singled to center and struck out swinging. 1 out in the ninth. 2-0 Boston. Pitch is a strike called at the knees. That was Jim Rice's 4th home run on the road. The others at Chicago, where he's had 2, and at Texas. Pitch outside for a ball, 1-1. He has 18 of them on the year now, and is 1 behind Fred Lynn, who leads the league. Gorman Thomas also has 18. The pitch let up is in for a strike called at the knees, 1-2 on Yaz. The Yankee outfield is around toward right. Here's the windup. The pitch on the way. And Yastrzemski looks at a ball low. 2-2. Hobson is on deck. Here's the pitch. And there's a foul into the upper stands off third. 2-2 on Carl Yastrzemski. Crowd on hand. The Red Sox playing in their 73rd game of the year here tonight. And now the 2-2 pitch to Carl. He hits a ground ball to first, and it's away from Spencer. Goes over to Randolph. He throws to the pitcher covering, and they get him. So it will go 3-4-1. It was hit hard, bounded away from Spencer, but over covering was Randolph, and he flipped it on to Davis, who was covering the base. So there are 2 men out in the Boston ninth. And the batter will be Butch Hobson. He has fouled out to the first baseman, sacrificed, and flied deep to Rivers in center field. Butch Hobson facing Ron Davis. The Yankee right-hander throws, and Hobson hits a slow roller towards third. Nettles has it on to first base, and the side is down. We go to the last half of the ninth inning. Red Sox 2 and the Yankees nothing.
Here's the final score in the ball game at Pittsburgh. Bill Robinson and Lee Macy hit back-to-back home runs in the 3-run first inning, and Kent Tekulve pitched 2 2/3 innings of scoreless relief. The Pittsburgh Pirates passed the Montreal Expos 6-5. Robinson, 18th homer, and Lacey's third of the year, came off starter Bill Lee, 7-5, who gave up 4 runs on 6 hits and a walk in 3 innings. The win went to starter Bruce Keeson, who's now 4-4. He struck out the first 5 batters before running into some difficulty. He was lifted after giving up 10 hits, including a pinch hit, 3-run homer by Tommy Hutton with 1 out in the 6th inning. Let's check some more, see if we have any more finals. We do have one in the North America Soccer League, though. George Gibbs scored a goal with only 53 seconds left to give the Toronto Blizzard a 2-1 NASL triumph over the San Diego Sockers. In baseball, let's check that right now. Oakland, Texas, after 5.5. It is Texas 5 and Oakland 3. Chicago and Minnesota after 7. The Twins are shutting out the White Sox 5-0. California, Kansas City 6.5. California Angels 3. Kansas City Royals 1. Warm-ups, National League, Cincinnati bottom 3-1. San Francisco Never 6-2. Warm-ups at Los Angeles, Matula, Atlanta 5-5. Sutcliffe for the Dodgers 7-5. Now, American League 5.5. Cleveland 6. Detroit 4.
Last half of the 9th inning, Yankee Stadium, New York, 2-0 Boston, and Bobby Mercer will lead off against Mike Torres. Mercer, playing his first home game as a member of the Yankees, has had a couple of standing ovations tonight. At the plate, he is flied to left, lined out to Yastrzemski at first, and flied to center field. He'll be followed by Piniella and then Jackson. The outfield is deep and around toward right. Torres looks down to Montgomery and gets his sign. And the pitch comes in. It is taken low, ball 1. Campbell and Drago are warming up in the Boston bullpen. The pitch. Line drive into left field for a base hit. Taken on 1 hop by Rice. And the lead man is on. Bobby Mercer singles to left field. We'll take a 10-second break now on the Boston Red Sox radio network. Mercer is on first, and Lou Piniella is at the plate. Montgomery goes partway to the mound and says something to Torres. Piniella has grounded out the third. He has singled to center. He has flied deep to left field. Burleson and Remy at double play depth. Hobson is guarding the line. Yaz is holding against Mercer at first base. Jackson is on deck. Piniella with his slightly closed stance, well away from the plate. Getting himself set. Digging in with the right spike. Taking some extra time. Torres to the belt, delivers, and it is a strike called on the outside corner. And Piniella is back talking to the plate umpire Kaiser. He did not like the call. 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. 2-0 Red Sox in the 9th. Runner at first base, nobody out. Torres set. He throws, and it is foul straight back, and he's out in front, strike 2, and Piniella slams his bat to the ground. Swinging at the dirt. 0-2 on Lou Piniella. Mercer with a short lead. Torres delivers. Ground ball, foul off third base, taken on a hop by Hobson. And he'll toss it back over to the pitcher as Mercer was sliding into second. 0-2. Reggie Jackson on deck for New York. Torres usually takes the time. Right now it's Piniella, though. The set. The pitch. Just missing. And it's 1-2. That was a little bit outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pause and the pitch. Ground ball to the left of Pops, and he juggles it and holds onto it, and everybody's safe. He was going to his left. He was trying to get the ball too quickly and make the play at second, and he bobbled the ball. So the Yankees have runners at first and second with nobody out in the ninth. They trail 2-0, and the batter is Reggie Jackson. Bob Montgomery out to the mound to talk to his pitcher. An error on the play on Hobson. Jackson in the second struck out swinging. In the fourth, he struck out swinging. And in the 7th inning, he drove one to the wall in deep right center field, and Lynn went up to make a leaping catch. So here is Reggie Jackson at the plate with runners at first and second and nobody out. Nettles is on deck. The set by Torres. The pitch to Jackson is outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strike. Mercer on second. Canella on first. Here it comes. And there's a swing and a miss, and the count goes to 1-1. Jackson backs out of the box. Now the strong left-handed batter. Who's back in? A look towards second. And the pitch. Fouled off to the left, upstairs and out of play, and the count is 1-2 to Jackson. 53,306 on hand at Yankee Stadium, New York. 2-0 Boston in the 9th inning. Torres back on the grass, looking around and checking his outfield. Back on the mound. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here it comes. Swung on and missed. Reggie Jackson is out. 1 away in the 9th. 3rd time he has struck out Jackson tonight. Strikeout number 5 for Mike Torres. Runners at first and second base, 1 away. The batter is Nettles. He's been called out on strikes, has grounded out to Yastrzemski, and grounded out to second. Torres checks in with Montgomery. Takes a long look, and Mercer backs off. Mike still looking in. Now he's ready. The pitch is in there for a call strike. It is 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. The outfield playing around toward right on Nettles, a tough pull hitter. Spencer is on deck. A look toward second. And the pitch on the way. Ground ball, base hit, right field. Mercer coming around third base. Evans fires into the plate. It is cut off by Yastrzemski. It is 2-1. And on to third base goes Canella. Red Sox lead is cut to 1 as Nettles singles into right field. And here comes Zimmer. He wants Campbell. We'll remind you this game is coming to you from Yankee Stadium in New York.
Let's look at a game that's just over in Baltimore. In fact, the second of 2 is over. Pat Kelly and John Lowenstein smashed home runs, and Steve Stone allowed but 4 hits over 8 2/3 innings, leading the Baltimore Orioles to a 4-0 victory over the Toronto Blue Jays in the sweep of their doubleheader. Scott McGregor, now 2-2, tossed a 7-hitter in the first game, and Doug Ducentes and Lee May clouded home runs to power the torrid Orioles to a 6-1 triumph. Baltimore has now won 13 of its last 16 games. Kelly's third home run in the third inning gave Stone, now 6-5, a 1-0 lead. The Orioles added 2 runs in the sixth frame when Gary Reineke hit into a run-scoring double, and into a run-scoring double play, that is, and Lowenstein followed up with a solo home run, his 7th. Stone was then replaced with the bases loaded and 2 out in the ninth by Don Stanhouse, who picked up his 9th save. Bill Hoffman, 4-9, took the loss. In the opener, McGregor surrendered a homer to Otto Velez in the second inning before shutting the Jays out the rest of the way. The left-hander, hoping to return from an early season bout with tendonitis, notched his second complete game of the season by striking out 2 and walking 1. Rich Dowers sparked the 3-run second inning with a 2-run single off losing pitcher Dave Stade, who is now 0-1, making his major league debut. Doug Ducentes slams his 7th home run after Ken Singleton drew a 2-out walk, and May followed with his 13th home run. Some more scores now. Let's see. We have Cleveland, Detroit after 6, 6-6, all tied up now. The Tigers scoring 2 in the home 6. They've tied Cleveland. Jones, a home run in the 6th of the man on base, his 2nd of the year. California, Kansas City 3-3 after 7. Oakland, Texas 5.5. The Rangers lead the A's 5-3.
Bill Campbell is in to pitch now for the Red Sox. It is 2-1. Boston. Runners at first and third, and 1 man out. Last half of the 9th inning, and Jim Spencer will be the batter, as Mike Torres has worked 8 1/3 innings. He has given up 5 hits and 1 run. Is responsible for the men on. Spencer has twice grounded to Yastrzemski and has flied out to right field. Willie Randolph is on deck. 2 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the Red Sox. 1 run, 5 hits, no errors for the Yankees. They came to see an exciting ball game, and have they ever. Left-handed batting Jim Spencer at the plate. Infield at double play depth. The pitch. Ground ball down to first. Grabbed by Yastrzemski in fair ground. He tags the base. The run scores. It's tied up. Yaz thought it was foul. He made a diving grab. He tagged the base. The runner moves over to second, and the Yankees have tied it. As Yastrzemski made a great stop of the ball, the umpire indicates fair ball. Yaz thought he had it in foul ground, I believe. In any event, the run is home on the infield out, and Nettles has moved over to second, and we're tied at 2. And the batter now is Willie Randolph, with Nettles on second base. 2 men out in the ninth. A hot shot grabbed right on the line by Yastrzemski. He tagged first base as he was falling. Did the only thing he could do under the circumstances. He tagged first base. Now they're going to walk Randolph on purpose. An intentional walk. Fred Stanley is scheduled next. He went in when White ran for Dent. An intentional walk. Ball 2 has been thrown. On second base right now is Nettles. There's ball 3. And ball 4. So Randolph goes to first. Stanley on his way up to the plate to face Bill Campbell. This will be his first appearance at the plate tonight. His batting average is .278. No home runs and 4 runs batted in. Right-handed batting shortstop. It is a 2-2 tie in the last half of the 9th inning. With 2 men out. Stanley chokes up a little on the bat. Now he backs off as Campbell takes too much time for him. again, waving the bat back and forth. Campbell is ready. And the pitch on the way. It is taken low for ball one. On deck for New York is Mickey Rivers. Here's the set and the pitch. To an off-speed screwball inside, ball two, and here comes Don Zimmer. Zimmer is walking to the mound. He's got Birdmeyer along with Drago warming up. He has not made a move yet. He is at the mound with Bob Montgomery talking to Bill Campbell. As the Yankees have tied it up. And after a couple of words, he is leaving. He will stick with Campbell. Nettles on second, Randolph on first. Now the set. And the pitch. Ground ball to second base. Jerry Remy throws on to Yastrzemski. And at the end of 9, we'll go to extra innings in a 2-2 tie.
The United Basketball Association became the country's second coast-to-coast professional basketball league today when the Board of Governors of the Western and Continental Basketball Associations gave final approval to a merger of the two leagues. The two leagues, which contributed 16 players and 8 referees to the NBA last season, will continue as a developmental league for NBA talent. Although no formal working agreement exists between the UBA and the NBA, the National Basketball Association has appointed a committee chaired by Eddie Donovan, the general manager of the New York Knickerbockers, to develop a proposal for a working agreement between the two leagues. Other notes in sports as we go to the 10th inning at Yankee Stadium, the International Olympic Committee has reached a tentative solution to the two China's issue and has asked Taiwan to agree to a name change as the price of staying in the Olympics along with mainland China. Sources say the tentative proposal will be handed to the delegation from Peking and Taiwan later today.
Well, with a ball game we have been watching and will continue to watch now as we go to the 10th inning here at Yankee Stadium tonight. 53,306 fans on hand. The Red Sox had a 2-0 lead going to the last half of the 9th inning. And the Yankees came up with 2 runs on 2 hits, 1 error, and left 2 men on. Ron Davis on in relief of Ron Guidry, ready to work his second inning. And he will pitch first to Dwight Evans, who will be followed by Bob Montgomery, who is reactivated today. And then Burleson will be up third. Perez tonight. 8 in the third, 6 hits, 2 runs. He walked 3, struck out 5. Evans at the plate. Davis delivers outside at low ball 1. Evans has popped to second, grounded to third, and struck out swinging. The 1-ball pitch on the way, taken low, ball 2. 2-0 on Evans. Davis has really been a workhorse for this Yankee ball club. Time called. Evans backs away for a moment. Pitch is in for a strike call. The Red Sox are playing in their 12th extra inning game. They won 6 and lost 5. And this is the 12th extra inning game for New York. There's a drive towards center field deep. Mickey Rivers going back. He's going way back. And he makes a great catch against the wall in center field. He looks like he hurt himself. But the second base umpire is indicating out. I think he dropped the ball after he banged up against the wall, but that's all for Evans. A great play by the center fielder, Mickey Rivers. And Dwight Evans hits the ball a country mile to center field, out by the 417-foot mark. Rivers caught it, banged up against the wall, held onto it long enough, and Evans is out number 1 as the Yankees Billy Martin and a whole bunch of other people go out there to tend to him, including trainers Gene Monahan and Barry Weinberg. Mickey Rivers with a crowd around him out there in center field. 1 out in the 10th inning. A tremendous shot off the bat of Evans and a great catch by the Yankee center fielder. So they'll attend to him out there, and while they do, we'll take a quick glance at the scores of other ball games as we have the opportunity here. The Baltimore Orioles won the first game of their doubleheader with Toronto 6-1, and they have won the second one now 4-0. Stone pitching a 4-hit shutout, beating Huffman, and Kelly and Lowenstein had home runs. Cleveland and Detroit are tied 6-6 at the end of 6. Seattle is leading Milwaukee 3-2 at the end of 8 1/2. After 7 1/2, Minnesota 5 and Chicago 2. Kansas City and California tied 3-3 at the end of 7 innings. Other game being played in the American League, Oakland and Texas. It is 5-3 Texas at the end of 5 1/2. The Cubs and the Mets at Chicago today were postponed rain. Montreal lost to Pittsburgh tonight 6-5. Houston plays at San Diego, Atlanta at Los Angeles, and Cincinnati at San Francisco. St. Louis and Philadelphia played, and the Phillies won at 8-7 in the first of 2. In the second, after 2 1/2, it is tied 1-1. They are still huddled around Mickey Rivers out there in center field. And what a great play he just made on Evans. So we just have to wait and see. I believe Mickey's back up on his feet again. And somebody who doesn't belong out there is out there, and now he is being chased by the police officers as he runs across left field. So we have a fan who is going to be tackled down around third base right now by a cordon of officers. As out in center field, they are attending to Mickey Rivers. Out in the 10th inning of play here at Yankee Stadium in a 2-2 tie. And what a tremendously dramatic baseball game we have been viewing here tonight. Pleased to have with us the American Forces Network, in addition to the 82 stations who carry Red Sox baseball. Another fan ran onto the field, and he is escorted off. Now Rivers is walking in rather slowly, and it appears as though we'll have a replacement for him in center field. He robbed Evans of perhaps a triple. So we'll see what the Yankees are going to do now in terms of a center fielder. Rivers coming in with Yankee trainer Gene Monahan. And he gets a nice round of applause as he is on his way in. 2-2 the score. We're in the top half of the 10th inning. Rico, of course, is standing by downstairs for the Star of the Game show, and after that we'll have a wrap-up show for you. Rivers appears to be okay, but he is coming in now, and we'll see what the Yankees are going to do about this in terms of defense. Darrell Jones is going in to play center field. Darrell Jones wait a minute. I see Juan Benitez now. Juan Benitez is going into center field, which would be the more logical choice under the circumstances. Benitez gone in the 10th inning, replacing Mickey Rivers. Meanwhile, Ron Davis is taking some warm-up throws with one out here in the 10th inning. I'd like to remind you that the Red Sox, after this series, will come home and will be home next Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday afternoon for a 1 o'clock game, and then they'll go to the coast. And they'll be back home again following the All-Star break against Seattle, California, and Oakland. The Mariners will be at Fenway July 19th, 20th, and 21st, followed by the Angels for a day game on Sunday the 22nd and a night game on Monday, July 23rd. The A's will close the homestand on July 24, 25, and 26, and the Red Sox ticket office on Yawkey Way is open from 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 2 Saturday and Sunday. Tickets also available at all Filene's upstairs stores. Now we're about ready. Bobby Mercer has to retrieve something that was thrown out of the right field seats. And he does that, and now Bob Montgomery steps in. Montgomery has doubled to center, struck out swinging, and singled to left. He has scored a run. And the first pitch is in for a call strike, 0-1. One out in the 10th inning, 2-2 the score. Davis throws, and the sidearm fastball is swung on and missed, 0-2. Burleson is on deck. The windup and the pitch on the way. There's a line drive, base hit into right field, and Montgomery is on with his third hit of the night. With one out, Bob Montgomery singles to right field. And the batter now will be Rick Burleson. And we'll get a runner. Jim Dwyer is going in to go do the running for Bob Montgomery, who has come back with a bang tonight. He has had 3 base hits after coming off the disabled list. Two of them are Ron Guidry, and now one off of Ron Davis. So with one out and one on, Dwyer is at first base, and the batter is Burleson. He struck out his first 2 times, and he singled to left his last 2 times. 2 for 4 on the night. Here's the pitch on the way, and it is fouled back upstairs and out of play. Strike 1. 0-1. Jim Cott is warming up. Out in the bullpen now for New York. Davis ready, and the right-hander throws. Ground ball to shortstop. Stanley over to second for 1. Back to first. Double play. We go to the last half of the 10th inning in a 2-2 tie.
Former World Boxing Council heavyweight champion Ken Norton is ending his 3-month retirement. The 33-year-old boxer is signed to fight Scott LaRue next month in San Diego, and a bout that earned him as much as $250,000. Norton's career hit rock bottom last March when he was knocked out in the first round by Ernie Shavers, and following the fight, he announced his retirement. Norton said he's coming back to the ring because he couldn't quit a loser. And at a news conference in San Diego earlier today, he predicted he'd knock out his opponent in their bout next July 22nd in San Diego. Norton is one of 3 boxers to ever defeat Muhammad Ali. He defeated Ali in San Diego in 1973. More baseball. California, Kansas City after 8 now. The Angels still lead 5-3. Cleveland, Detroit 6.5. The Tigers 6. And the Indians 6. National League, Philadelphia, St. Louis, second game after 3. Cardinals 5. And the Phillies 1. Seattle has beaten Milwaukee 3-2. The Mariners had 3 runs, 10 hits, and 2 errors. The Brewers 2 runs, 6 hits and 1 miscue. Abbott, the winner, he's now 4-8. Sorensen, the loser, his record falls to 9-8. American League, Chicago, Minnesota after 8. The Twins 5 and the White Sox 2. The White Sox scoring their 2 runs in the top half of the 8th inning.
Last half of the 10th inning at Yankee Stadium. It's 2-2. And leading off against Bill Campbell, Juan Benitez. Benitez will be at bat for the first time. Mickey Rivers having to leave as he collided with a wall on the tremendous shot by Evans in the top of this inning. Benitez has a batting average of .245. He has 4 home runs and 13 runs batted in. And Gary Allenson comes in to do the catching. Allenson now back at the plate. Here we go. Juan Benitez, once with the Red Sox, right-handed batter, facing Bill Campbell in the last half of the 10th inning. 2-2 the score. Red Sox with 10 hits and 1 error. The Yankees 5 hits and no errors. Campbell ready to pitch to Juan Benitez. The first one is inside, and it appeared to hit him, and it did. Hit him on the left upper arm, and Benitez will go to first base. A hit batsman. We'll take a 10-second break now on the Boston Red Sox radio network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
Thurman Munson at the plate. And Bobby Mercer on deck. Runner at first, nobody out in the 10th. In a 2-2 tie as the Yankees trailing 2-0. Got 2 in the bottom half of the 9th. Munson tonight grounded to third his first 2 trips. Singled to center in the 6th and bounced back to the mound in the 8th. Benitez with a pretty good lead, and Campbell throws over and drives him back. Boston outfield straight away on Munson. The pitch on the way, and it's a let-up that's low. Ball 1. Throw back to Campbell goes past him, but is covered by Remy. 1 ball, no strikes to Thurman Munson. Checking with Mike Ferraro, the coach at third. Taking a long look down. He wants to be very sure of what's on. Campbell ready. Again, he throws to first, and once more, Benitez gets back. One ball, no strikes on Munson. He backs off again. And now, Billy Martin is hollering down to the first base coach, Yogi Berra, about something. And Berra is going over to relay the message to Benitez. And now, Munson and Benitez are going down to have a conversation halfway between home and first. So they want to make absolutely certain as to what the signal is. So Campbell takes a couple of warm-up throws while Munson and Benitez have a conversation. Benitez goes back to first. Munson comes back to the plate. And we're ready for the action again. Here's the pitch, and the bunt try is fouled. And the count is 1-1. Ball appears appeared to shake up Allenson a little, but Muggsy's all right. And Munson again is taking a long look down at the third base coach. Make sure of what this is about here. Bobby Mercer is on deck, and Lou Piniella is scheduled to follow with a runner at first and nobody out. 1-1. Campbell to the set. Munson squares. And did he pull back? No, he did not. He went through with it, and that's a strike, and it is 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count on Munson. Venegas has a short lead away from first. Campbell delivers, and Munson check swing. Did he go through? No. First base umpire indicates safe. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes on the Yankee catcher, who again is looking to it for Ferraro. Campbell gets the sign from Allenson. And the 2-2 pitch to Munson is in the dirt. 3-2. Bergmeyer and Drago continuing to warm up. Campbell back on the grass, rubbing up the ball. The rangy right-hander ready. And now he throws to first, and Venegas is back again. Kaiser, the plate umpire, dusting off home plate. Munson's been up there a long time. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung on to call strike 3, throw to second, and they get him at second base. Munson is called out on strikes. It's a double play as Venegas is thrown out at second by Allenson, and Munson is in a big argument with the plate umpire. It was called strike 3. And they get the runner going into second. Allenson firing it down. So there are 2 men out with nobody on. Burleson took the throw. And Munson is really mad about that call. Venegas thrown out at second, and now Kaiser is jawing with Munson as Billy down in the corner of the Yankee dugout is hollering out at the plate umpire. 2 out, and the base is empty. And the batter is Bobby Mercer. Mercer tonight is fly to left, line to first, fly to center, single to left, and scored a run. It is 2-2 in the 10th. Campbell kicks and throws, and the pitch is outside and low, ball 1. One ball, no strikes. Pitch is the screwball over for a call strike. It is 1-1 on Bobby Mercer. Lou Piniella is on deck. Campbell winds and throws. Ground ball to the right of second. Over goes Rummy. He's got it. Throws to Yastrzemski, and the side is out. We go to the 11th inning in a 2-2 tie.
Leon Roberts singled 3 times and knocked in the winning run of the 8th inning Friday night to back the combined 6-hit pitching of Glenn Abbott and Sean Raleigh, leading the Seattle Mariners to a 3-2 victory over the Milwaukee Brewers. Roberts' third hit of the contest drove in Dan Meyer, who had opened the 8th with a single and took second base on Joe Simpson's sacrifice bunt. In addition to scoring the winning run, Meyer extended his hitting streak to a club record 20 games with a 4th inning single. Abbott now 4-8 on the year. Losing pitcher Larry Sorensen is 9-8. At Bloomington, Minnesota, Roy Smalley, leading hitter in the American League, cracked a 2-run homer and 2 singles to raise his league-leading average to 370 and power Jerry Koosman and the Minnesota Twins to a 5-2 win over the Chicago White Sox. Kuzma now 9-6, scattered 7 hits, and held the White Sox scoreless until the 8th when Lamar Johnson slammed the 2-run homer. And there are a few other games underway. In fact, on the West Coast, there are 3 games in the National League. Nothing in, yes, we do now. Cincinnati and San Francisco, no score at the end of 1. And now after 1.5, it's still no score. Atlanta and Los Angeles after 2. The Braves lead the Dodgers 1-0. In the American League, Oakland at Texas, now 8. Texas Rangers still lead the Oakland A's by a score of 5-3. Cleveland, Detroit, 7.5. The Tigers coming alive now, 7-6 over the Indians.
The Yankees in the 11th inning will go to the veteran left-hander Jim Cott, as Ron Davis has worked 2 innings tonight after working 2 2/3 last night in Toronto. So that's all they want from him. And the first 2 men will be left-handed batters, Remy and Lynn, to be followed by Rice. So Jim Cott is in to pitch for New York, an ERA of 2.21. He is 1-0. And Jim is making his 16th appearance. In 20 1/3 innings, he's allowed 22 hits. He's walked 5 and struck out 8. They have just announced that Mickey Rivers had to leave the game with a bruised right shoulder. Jerry Remy leading off in the 11th inning. He went in as a pinch runner in the 8th. Up for the first time, and the pitch to him is taken for ball 1 as he looked like he might bunt, and Nettles was charging up the line. Scott, a man who worked very quickly on the mound. In fact, when he was with the Phillies, he almost was quick pitching people. You have to be very careful. Fastball that pounds off a Cott out to second. Randolph throws to first for the out. So Jim Cott, who is a Golden Glove pitcher, takes a shot that hit off his leg. It goes out to second, so it will go 1-4 to 3, retiring Jerry Remy. 1 out, and the batter will be Fred Lynn. We're in the 11th inning and a 2-2 tie. Gene Monahan, the Yankee trainer, raced out there, but Cott's okay. Lynn at the plate. He has struck out. Single to right, grounded to second, hit into a 3-6-3 double play. Cott gets a warm-up pitch to ensure that he's okay. 1 out in the 11th inning for Boston. 2-2 the score. Red Sox with 10 hits, the Yankees with 5. Pitch is a strike called at the knees, 0-1. On deck is Rice. The pitch outside and low, 1-1. Cott does not have the speed that he had when he was young, but he's a crafty veteran. 6'4" tall. Left-hander throws, and the breaking ball is inside. 2 balls and a strike now on Lynn. The kick and the pitch popped up in foul territory off third base, and it will go up into the seats. 2-2 the count on Lynn. 1 out in the 11th inning. Again, gets his sign. And now the 2-2 pitch. Fly ball to it left field. Piniella drifting over to the foul line toward it, and he makes the catch down in the corner for the out. Lynn flies to Piniella in left field. 2 out in the 11th, and now Jim Rice to the plate. Struck out twice and fouled out against Guidry, and then hit a shot to right center field into the bleachers, about 420 feet away, off Davis in the 9th inning to give the Red Sox a 2-0 lead. And the Yankees tied it with 2 runs in the last half of the 9th. And here we are in the 11th. Caught into into his motion, and the pitch. There's a drive out into left center field. Beniquez will have to play this on a hop, and Rice is on at first base with a single. Jim Rice gets his second hit, a single to center field, with 2 out here in the 11th inning, and the batter is Bob Watson. He has flied to center, grounded into a 4-6-3 double play, double to left field, and bounced back to the mound. Rice on first with 2 outs. Staying very close. Pitch to Watson is taken outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch is low. 2 balls, no strikes on Bob Watson. Carl Yastrzemski on deck. And there's a right-hander warming up now in the New York bullpen. Cott delivers. Watson fouls one into the upper stands, back of the plate. Ken Clay is now warming up for the Yankees. 2-1, 2 men out. And the pitch to Watson. He takes it outside. 3-1. Balls, 1 strike, 2 away. And the pitch. Watson hits a ground ball to shortstop. Stanley flips to second, and the side is out. We go to the last half of the 11th inning in a 2-2 ball game.
Okay, let's go back over the scoreboard again. Nothing more to report as far as any finals. See what we have. National League after 2.5 now. The Braves, they have really have been Dodger killers this year. They're leading the Dodgers 1-0 at Dodger Stadium after 2.5. The team with the worst record in the National League West. Cincinnati and San Francisco, no score, 1.5. Houston on Poole's home run in the first. Nobody on his 6th of the year leads San Diego 1-0. Again, the Mets at Chicago afternoon game at Wrigley Field postponed because of rain. And it'll be made up as part of a doubleheader on Monday, September 24th. Phillies over the Cardinals first game 8-7. Second game 4.5. Cardinals 5. And the Phillies won. Pittsburgh beat Montreal 6-5. In the American League, Cleveland and Detroit now after 8, all tied up at 8-8. Orioles took 2 from Toronto 6-1 and 4-0. Stone took that second game. He's now 6-5 on the year. Attendance picking up at Baltimore. Orioles with the best record in baseball at 52 wins, 20,872. Seattle beat Milwaukee 3-2. Twins over the White Sox 5-2. By the way, at Bloomington, only 12,763. At Milwaukee was 16,843. Extra innings at Kansas City after 9. Angels 5 and the Royals 5.
In the last half of the 11th inning, the score is tied 2-2, and Lou Piniella will lead off against Bill Campbell. Piniella has grounded out to third, singled in the 4th inning, the first hit off Mike Torres, the starter, and was out trying to stretch it into a double. He flied deep to left field in the 7th inning, reached on Butch Hobson's costly era in the 9th. Piniella facing Campbell, with Jackson on deck, and Nettles scheduled to follow. The pitch is low, ball 1. 1 ball, no strike. 2 runs on 11 hits and 1 error for the Red Sox. 2 runs on 5 hits, no errors for New York. Campbell delivers, and this one is a strike called. It's 1-1. Waist high on the inside part of the plate. The 1-1 pitch. Line drive, base hit to left field. Rice going over to get it. Piniella takes the turn at first base. Rice fires it in and holds him to 1. Piniella had a notion for just a moment. And he's at first base now with his second hit of the night. And Reggie Jackson is at the plate. Jackson has struck out in the 2nd, and in the 4th, he flied deep to right center field in the 7th, and he struck out in the 9th. Piniella on first base, nobody out. pitch. There's a high pop foul back of the plate. Here comes Allenson back, and he makes the catch. The runner going to second. There's the throw, and he is safe at second on a close play. The ball a little bit off to the shortstop side. Burleson put the tag on, but Piniella gets second base. So they did not have him sacrificing, but he did the equivalent. The foul territory here at Yankee Stadium, deep behind the plate. So on a foul ball to the catcher, Lou Piniella heads up, tagged up, and went to second. So he's in scoring position with one out, and the batter is Nettles. Nettles has been called out on strikes. Grounded to first, grounded to second, and single to right field. They'll walk him. An intentional walk to Nettles. Ball one has been thrown. Spencer is scheduled next. Nettles, of course, came through with that big blow, or one of them at least, in the Yankee night. Ball three. We'll put runners at first and second with one out. 2-2 in the 11th inning, and there he goes to first base. Runners at first and second. Allenson is out, talks to Campbell. Spencer at the plate. He has grounded to Yastrzemski 3 times, and he's flied out once to right. Piniella on second. He's the man. Is on deck. Campbell gets his sign. Bill is ready. And the pitch. Screwball is outside, ball one. Drago and Bergmeyer are warming up for Boston. Ball, no strikes to count on Spencer. Right-hander ready. And the pitch. Tapped. Foul back of the plate. Allenson picked it up and fired to third to attempt the fourth, but it was foul in the batter's box. And the count is 1-1. To think that this is the first of 4? Wow. Imagine what it'd be like if this was a playoff. 1-1 the count. Willie Randolph is on deck. Piniella edging away from second, but Burleson keeping him close with the left-handed batter at the plate. Here's the pitch to Jim Spencer, and it's blowing outside, ball 2. 2-1. The Boston outfield is playing around toward right. Campbell to the set position. The 2-1 pitch. Swung on and foul back. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. 1 out, and runners at first and second. Spencer digs in on the left side. Campbell sets to look to second, and the pitch. Just missing, low and away. He's 3-2 now with Spencer. Out of the box, tapping his spike. Moves back in. Campbell ready. Now he backs away. And Spencer steps out. Three and two. The set. And he turns and does not throw to second, although he looked like he might, and Piniella went back in there, but nobody was at the base. 2 the count. And a war of nerves going on right now down there, 60 feet 6 inches between Campbell and Spencer. The pitch hit on the ground. Yastrzemski to his right, got it, throws over to Campbell for the fourth play, and the runners move along. So now there are runners at second and third. Yastrzemski makes the play, and Willie Randolph is coming up with runners at second and third. And 2 men out. 2-2 to score in the 11th inning. Randolph tonight has walked, grounded to second, walked again, and then was walked intentionally, and will be walked intentionally now. They're going to walk him on purpose again. Ball 1. This will bring up Fred Stanley. Ball 2 has been thrown. Ball 3. Stanley went into the ball game when Bucky Dent, the starter, was lifted for pinch runner. And now we're going to have a change, I believe. Zimmer is calling for Drago. We'll remind you, you're listening to this game from Yankee Stadium in New York.
Billy Sample snapped a third-inning tie with a 2-run single tonight, and Lavelle Blanks lofted 2 sacrifice flies to lift the Texas Rangers to their 7th straight victory, a 5-3 triumph over Oakland, which handed the A's their 7th consecutive loss. Rookie Denny Darwin, now 1-0, won his second Major League game and allowing 4 hits over 7 innings. Sparky Lyle started the 8th inning, earned his 8th save, while Matt Keogh, who allowed only 2 earned runs, went the distance for Oakland to drop his record to 0-10. At Detroit, rookie Lynn Jones drove in 4 runs with a home run and a tie-breaking 7th inning single, and Milt Wilcox pitched 6 1/3 innings of 3-hit relief pitching to spark the Detroit Tigers to an 8-6 win over Cleveland. That's the Indians' 11th loss in 12 games. National League scores now from the West Coast. 2 innings of play. Houston 1, San Diego nothing on Poole's home run for the Astros in the first. And the other ones we have, let's see, repeating what we gave you earlier on the West, from the West Coast in the National League. Atlanta, Los Angeles, 2.5. Braves still lead the Dodgers 1-0. 2 innings, no score, San Francisco and Cincinnati. Here's one still going in the National League, the second game at St. Louis. After 5, Cardinals 6, and the Phillies 1. The first game was won by Philadelphia by a score of 8-7. Saucier was the winning pitcher, forced the loser. Right now, the National League standings in the East, Montreal 5.5 up on Pittsburgh, followed by Chicago and Philadelphia 6 back, St. Louis 6.5, and the Mets 12.5. In the West, Houston leads Cincinnati by 5.5, Giants 8.5 behind, followed by San Diego 12.5, Los Angeles 13.5, Atlanta 16.5. Hitting Stewart is in to pitch for Boston. And Fred Stanley will be at the plate with the bases loaded in the 11th inning of a 2-2 tie. Drago is making his 26th appearance, an ERA of 2.93. He has won 6 and lost 3. He's pitched 46 innings, allowing 47 base hits. He has walked 12 and struck out 37. Facing Fred Stanley, the Yankee shortstop. The bases are loaded. There's 2 out. Drago taking his warm-up tosses on the mound. It's been a great ball game here tonight. The Red Sox got 1 run off Guidry, and they added 1 more and a home run by Wright, leading off in the 9th off Davis. But the Yankees got 2 in the last half of the ninth to tie it. And now we're in the last half of the 11th inning with the bases loaded and 2 out. Drago pitching to Stanley. Right-handed batting shortstop. Been up once and grounded to second. Here's the kick and the pitch, and it is a strike call, 0-1. Let him off with a slider, just about belt high on the inside edge. No balls, 1 strike. Drago kicks and throws. Strike 2 on the outside corner. No balls, 2 strikes.
Drago gets the sign from Allenson. Now the right-hander is ready. And the 0-2 pitch just off the outside edge. 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Fred Stanley. Drago working deliberately. Into his motion. The pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. We will go to the 12th inning and a 2-2 tie.
Going into this evening's action in the majors, looking at pitching, the National League leader was the Negro with 11 victories, 11-3. His brother Phil of Atlanta, 9-10. Lacoste, Cincinnati, 8-2. Angiwar, Houston, and Grimsley, Montreal, 8-4. And Carlton, the Phillies, 8-8. Leading pitchers in victories in the American League, Tommy John, 11 wins of the Yankees, 11-3. Dennis Martinez, Baltimore, 10-4. Kern, Texas, 9-1. Flanagan, Baltimore, by the way, who won his 10th game, so he has second. He's 10-5 now. So it's Flanagan, Baltimore, 10-5. Ryan of California and split off of Kansas City, 9-5. Waits, Cleveland, 9-6. Sorensen, Milwaukee, and Marshall, Minnesota, with a record of 9-7. Sorensen lost his game tonight, so he is 9-8. Earned run average based on 72 innings pitched in the American League. Kern, Texas, 1.50. Guidry, Yankees, 2.11. Marshall, Minnesota, 2.34. John of the Yankees, 2.44. And Slate in the Milwaukee, 2.80. In the National League, Perry of San Diego, 2.49. Lacoste, Cincinnati, 2.50. Rogers, Montreal, 2.66. Martinez, St. Louis, and Shirley of San Diego, 2.72. Strikeout leaders in the American League, Ryan, California, 124. Jenkins of Texas, 86. In the National League, Richard Houston, 126. Perry of San Diego, 82.
Carl Yastrzemski will lead off in the 12th inning against Jim Cott. And the pitch is inside ball 1. A 40-year-old pitcher against a 39-year-old batter. A couple of old pros facing each other in the 12th. Cott delivers, and he is outside with ball 2, 2-0. Yastrzemski tonight, 1 hit. A single in the 5th inning. Pitch to Carl is in for a call strike. 2-1. The outfield is toward right, but Piniella is deep and straight away and left. And the pitch outside, and the count goes to 3 balls, 1 strike on Yaz. Most of the other ball games are pretty well over by now. Baltimore swept Toronto. The pitch, Yastrzemski with a big rip and a miss. 3-2. Carl leading off here in the 12th inning. Hobson and Evans scheduled to follow. Behind the plate, Spencer at first, Randolph at second, Stanley the shortstop now, and Nettles at third. Piniella, Benicas, and Mercer from left to right in the outfield. Here it comes, and there's a bunt that's fouled back. Out of reach. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to count on Butch Hobson. He's 0 for 3 with a sacrifice. He hit one very deep shot to center field that was caught. Yes, with a short lead away from first base. Cott has a great move to first. Here's the pitch, and this one is taken outside. 2-1. Again, Butch out of the box and checking with Yost at third. Jim Cott works, and there's a high pop foul off the first base side, and over goes Munson. But it's into the box seat. And the count is 2-2 on Hobson. Dwight Evans on deck. And the Yankees and the Red Sox in the 12th inning of a 2-2 tie. And tomorrow afternoon, Louis Tion will be going to the mound against Bob Stanley. 2-2. The pitch is inside and low. 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Yaz edging away from the base. There's a high fly ball into short left center field. On comes Benikas, and he makes the catch for the out. 1 away. We'll take a 10-second break on the Boston Red Sox radio network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
Dwight Evans is up with Yastrzemski on first and 1 down. He's popped to second, grounded to third, struck out, and in the 10th inning he took Rivers right to the wall, and Mickey made a great catch on him and bruised his shoulder in the process. The pitch to him, hit on the ground to third. Nettles throws to second for 1, on to first for a double play. We go to the last half of the 12th inning in New York in a 2-2 tie. This is Ken Coleman at Yankee Stadium in New York. Rico Petrocelli is downstairs waiting for the star of the game show whenever. And in the 12th inning, the last half of the 12th, Juan Benikas will lead off against Dick Drago. 2-2 the score. 2-11-1 for Boston. 2-6-0 for the Yankees. Benikas came to the plate in the 10th inning after he replaced Rivers and was hit by a pitch by Campbell, who was on in relief of Torres. The pitch from Drago is a curve outside, ball 1. Munson and Mercer to follow. The outfield straight away for the Red Sox. The pitch is low, ball 2. 2-0. Benikas with pretty good power. Straightaway hitter most of the time. He swings and misses. Strike 1. High slider. It was up there for him and he missed it. 2 balls, 1 strike. Drago works and Benikas swings and doesn't get it. Another slider, 2-2. Big crowd on hand, 53,306, and most of them still right here, riveted to their seats. Fly ball to it left. Rice is there, and he makes the catch for the out. 1 out in the 12th inning for the Yankees, and now Thurman Munson comes up. First 2 trips, he grounded to third. He has singled to center, bounced to the mound, and been called out on strike. Out in the last half of the 12th inning. Drago throws, and there's a check swing foul ball, strike 1. 0-1 on Thurman. Catcher waiting on Drago. And the 0-1 pitch comes down. Ground ball to third. Hobson's got it. Throws to Yastrzemski for the out. 2 out in the Yankee 12th. And now Bobby Mercer coming to the plate. Fly to left, line to first, fly to center, single to left, grounded to second. The base is empty in the 12th. And Drago takes too much time, and Mercer steps out of the box. Drago ready now on the pitch. Fastball swung on and foul tipped into the mid of Allenson. Strike 1. On deck is Lou Piniella. 2 out here in the 12th inning for the Yankees. Drago delivers. There's a line drive toward right field. Deep back goes Evans, and it's passed into the wall. Mercer around first, going to second. Here comes the throw, and he slides in with a double. A double for Bobby Mercer. Over the outstretched glove of Dwight Evans. Out in right field. Fired the ball into second, and went past Burleson, was backed up by Hobson. And now with 2 out and a runner at second base, Lou Piniella. Steps front and center. He has grabbed to third, single to center, slide deep to left, reached on an error, and single to left. And he scored the tying run in the 9th inning. Now Mercer on second with 2 out. Piniella at the plate and Jackson on deck. Piniella, he's buttoning the shirt on his Yankee pinstripe. Now he's in and ready. So is Drago. A look at second. The pitch to Lou. Strike called at the knees. 0-1. Strike on Lou Piniella. Mercer looking around him, edging away from second base. Jerry Remy takes a step over that way, now goes back. Here's the pitch, foul back. No balls, 2 strikes on Piniella. 2 out in the 12th inning. Detroit beats Cleveland 8-6. Seattle down Milwaukee 3-2. Minnesota bested Chicago 5-2. The Orioles swept the Blue Jays. California and Kansas City are now in the 11th inning in a 5-5 tie. And here in New York, it is 0-2 on Piniella with Mercer on second and 2 out in the 12th. Drago fires, fly ball to right field. Evans is going back, and he gets it at the wall. And that will do it for the 12th. We go to the 13th inning in New York in a 2-2 ball game. We're into the 13th inning at Yankee Stadium, and Gary Allenson will lead off against Jim Cott, the third pitcher to work for the Yankees tonight. The score is tied 2-2. The pitch to Gary. High fly ball to center field. Toward Benitez, right there, and he's got it for the out. But a couple of steps to his right. That was his first at bat. Bob Montgomery, activated tonight, had 3 base hits and was listed for a pinch runner. Allenson flies out, and there's 1 away here in the 13th inning for Boston. And the batter is Rick Burleson. The pitch to Rick. Fly ball into right center field. Benitez going after this one, and it is hitting the base of the wall. Burleson around first, going into second, and he has a stand-up double. Rick Burleson doubles to right center field with 1 out here in the 13th inning. Off Jim Cott. That is the 3rd hit of the night for Rick Burleson, and now Jerry Remy is at the plate. Barry Wolf started this ball game, and he drove in the first run in the 8th inning off Ron Guidry some time ago. And Remy went in to run for him. He's been up once and grounded out. And now we have a conference with Nettles and Cott and Munson. Runner at second, 1 away. Lynn is on deck. Jerry Remy facing Jim Cott. And Jim looks towards second, and nobody's close to Burleson, but he gets back in a hurry. Nettles is playing even with the bag at third. The pitch is hit on the ground. It's going into right field. Here comes Burleson around third. Here's the throw home. He slides, and he is safe at the plate. Thurman Munson made a great stab for him, but Burleson scores, and Remy winds up on second base. A ground ball single into right field between Randolph and Spencer, and a close play at home. And it is 3-2 Boston as Jerry Remy comes through with a base hit to deliver Rick Burleson. And the Red Sox have the lead, 3-2. With Remy on second. He went to second on the throw, and it was a good throw from Mercer to Thurman Munson. But a little bit down to the first base side. He went diving across to try to get him, and a very close play. Safe at home, Rick Burleson. And now here's Fred Lynn. Runner at second and one out. The pitch to Fred, and he loops a foul ball back out of play. Strike one. He's had one hit tonight. That was in the fourth inning, a single to right field off Guidry. Jim Rice is on deck. And the Yankees have a right-hander and a left-hander warming up out of the bullpen. Cott delivers, and he's outside with the ball. It's 1-1. With Rice batting next, Billy Martin might want to go to his right-hander, who is Ken Clay. Pitch is inside for a ball. Or make that Don Hood along with Clay warming up. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And it's outside ball 3-1. Don Hood and Ken Clay both warming. Remy edging away from second base. Stanley trying to keep him close. Here's the pitch, and it is swung on and missed. Soft stuff, and Fred was out in front. 3-2. 3-2 Boston in the 13th inning. Jim Cott delivers. And Rice swings and misses. He got him. Strikeout. And now Jim Rice is coming to the plate with Remy on second base. That is the 10th strikeout for Yankee pitching tonight. Guidry had the other 9. Here's Rice with Remy on second. They'll walk him. An intentional walk. Given to Jim Rice, who after going hitless his first 3 times, homered in the 9th and singled in the 11th. There's ball 3 to him as Cott takes a little time. And ball 4. So Jim Rice will go to first base. Jerry Remy is on second. And the batter, Bob Watson. Was the third walk by Yankee pitching, 2 of them by Guidry, and now Munson wants a word with Cott. Watson has 1 hit tonight. He had a double in the 7th inning. Now Randolph, the second baseman, wants a word with the shortstop Fred Stanley, and they toss something around, and with runners at first and second base, and 2 men out. Watson faces Cott. The pitch is a strike called at the knees, 0-1, and Watson is talking to the plate umpire, Ken Kaiser, about the call. And Kaiser gets some heat from the Boston dugout. 3-2 Red Sox in the 13th inning. Cott is ready. The pitch to Watson. Strike called on the outside corner. 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Jackson, Nettles, and Spencer scheduled to bat in the last half of the inning. Here's the pitch, and Watson fouls it back to the screen. Out holding it, strike 2. Remy on second. Rice on first. Outfield straight away and deep. The pitch. Watson hits a slow roller out toward the shortstop, and Stanley throws to second for the 4th, retiring the side. We go to the last half of the 13th inning. Red Sox 3 and the Yankees 2.
All-America linebacker Tom Cousineau, Buffalo's #1 draft choice from Ohio State, reportedly is in Montreal with his agent looking at the options of playing football in Canada. Cousineau and agent Jimmy Walsh visited Montreal and reportedly have met with officials of the Canadian Football League Alouettes. Cousineau is 6'3", 227-pounder. Racing today, Bull Agent is the favorite in the field of 9 3-year-olds for Saturday's 120th running of the Queen's Plate at Toronto's Woodbine. The mile and one-quarter event is North America's oldest horse race. Bull Agent will be ridden by 4-time North American jockey champion Sandy Hawley. Steady Growth with jockey Brian Swartuck is the second choice. Both Hawley and Swartuck are seeking a fifth-place victory. The winning purse is $106,541. Speaking about racing, jockey Con McCurry, a come-from-behind rider who won more than 1,500 races, including 2 Kentucky Derbies, died Thursday in Ocala, Florida, of heart failure at Monroe Memorial Hospital. The 58-year-old McCrary, who became the 48th member of the National Museum of Racing Hall of Fame in 1974, rode pensive to the 1944 Kentucky Derby Championship and made a winning comeback at the Derby on Count Turf 7 years ago. He rode in the Derby for the 10th and last time in 1958, finishing 5th on Martin's Roulette.
Last half of the 13th inning. Yankee Stadium, New York. Boston 3, New York 2. Reggie Jackson will lead off. He is hitless in 5 trips to the plate. He had 1 long ball in the 7th inning, deep to right center field, that was caught by Lynn. He has struck out 3 times, and he's fouled to Allenson. Jackson, Nettles, and Spencer. Drago on the mound. Red Sox right-hander works, and there's a pop foul off to the left and out of play. 0-1. No balls, 1 strike as we get close to midnight in New York. Here comes the pitch. Lit up is outside, and the count is 1-1 on Jackson. The outfield around toward right and deep. The pitch to Reggie. Foul. Here comes Allenson back, but he can't get there. It was not hit high enough. It was down in front of the screen, but not enough for Muncie to get back there and make a play. And the count is 1-2. So, good try by the Boston catcher who caught the foul ball by Jackson last time. Reggie hands him his mask. 1-2 the count. 13th inning, 3-2 Red Sox. Drago gets the sign. And now he backs away. Been a lot of that here in these extra innings. A lot of tension down on that diamond tonight. Now we're ready. And the 1-2 pitch to Jackson. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. He's out. 4th time tonight he is struck out. And with 1 away, the batter now is Nettles. Greg Nettles at the plate. He's had 1 hit tonight and an intentional walk. Drago ready. And the pitch is inside of the belt. Ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Jim Spencer is out on deck. Drago into his motion. The right arm around, and the pitch hit on the ground to Yastrzemski. He waits for Drago. He tags the bag, and there are 2 men out in the 13th inning for the Yankees. And Jim Spencer is coming to the plate. Hitless in 5 trips to the plate. Spencer facing Drago. 2 out in the 13th inning. Lynn well over into right center field. right toward left center. Drago rocks and throws, and the pitch is a fastball outside and low ball one. On deck now is Willie Randolph. Drago gets the sign from Allenson. Right-hander ready again. Here comes the pitch. And this one is taken for ball two. 2-0. Two out, the base is empty in the 13th. 3-2, the Red Sox leading. Drago working deliberately. Comes in with a pitch and hits the outside edge with a slider. 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. And apparently a cherry bomb off down by the Yankees dugout. And some of the players looking up into the crowd. And Spencer out of the box for a moment. Drago looking around, checking his outfielder alignment. 2 balls, 1 strike on Jim Spencer. Here's the kick and the pitch, and it's just off the outside corner, and he's 3-1. It is midnight in New York. 3 balls, 1 strike. Drago ready. And the pitch comes down. Ground ball foul down to Yogi Berra, the coach at first base, who has said it isn't over till it's over. One of Yogi's lines. 3-2. 2 out. Spencer standing outside the box, hitching at the felt. Now moving slowly into the box. Dick Drago kicks and throws, and it's foul back this way. Still 3-2. First of 4 games between the Red Sox and the Yankees here tonight. And what a battle this has been and is right now. 3-2 the count. Now again, Spencer backs out of the box, takes off his cap. Or a batting helmet. Now he goes in again. Drago into his motion. 3-2 pitch to Spencer. Grounded foul to the Yankee dugout. We'll take a 10-second break on the Red Sox radio network.
This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service. On Spencer. Drago looking in. The right-hander works. And it is popped up in the infield near the mound. Burleson calls for it. He is there. And on the mound, he's got it. And Boston wins it 3-2 in 13 innings. We'll be back with a recap on tonight's game for you in just a moment.
We'll be going back for that wrap-up, and we just passed the 4-hour mark. Let's go and look at all the scores of all the games. Most of the games, of course, are over. In the American League, game that's still going on, Kansas City hosting California. The Royals are batting in the home 11th on the home 11th, with California scoring 1 run at the top of the 11th. The Angels lead the Kansas City Royals 6-5. Texas earlier beat Oakland 5-3. Darwin the winner. He's 1-0. Keogh the loser 0-10. Minnesota beat Chicago 5-2. 5-9-0 for the Twins. 2-7-1 for the White Sox. Kuzma the winner 9-6. Warthen the loser 7-8. Seattle beat Milwaukee 3-2. Mariners 3-10-2. Brewers 2-6-1. Abbott the winner. Sorensen the loser. Baltimore won 2 games from Toronto 6-1 and 4-0. Detroit beat Cleveland 8-6. National League, New York Mets at Chicago postponed rain. The Phillies in the first game beat the Cardinals 8-7. Second game 6.5. Cardinals 7, and the Phillies won. Pittsburgh defeated Montreal 6-5. Keeson the winner. lead the loser 35,677 in attendance at Pittsburgh. Atlanta at Los Angeles after 5.5 innings of play. The Braves 2, the Dodgers nothing. Cincinnati at San Francisco at Candlestick Park, 3.5. The Reds 2, the Giants 1. Houston at San Diego, 4 innings of play. The Houston Astros lead the San Diego Padres 3-1. Let's go back to Yankee Stadium for the wrap-up.
The Red Sox have won the first game of this 4-game series from the New York Yankees here tonight before a crowd of over 53,000, 53,306 to be exact, at Yankee Stadium in New York. It took them 3 hours and 51 minutes to do it, and Boston wins it 3-2. The winning pitcher in relief, Dick Drago, whose record is now 7-3. The losing pitcher, Jim Cott, his record now at 1-1. Certainly a dramatic game. Boston had developed a 2-0 lead. The Yankees tied it up in the last half of the 9th inning, and the Red Sox pull it out in the 13th. Rico Petrocelli is standing by downstairs for the Star of the Game show, and we'll be back with...
Well, this broadcast was authorized on the rights granted by the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees, was intended solely for the entertainment of the AFRTS listening audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written permission of the Red Sox and Yankees is prohibited. The Red Sox win the ball game. They stay in second place, 5 games behind the Baltimore Orioles. Make that 4.5 now. The Red Sox 4.5 behind Baltimore. The Yankees fall back to 11. Our thanks to Red Sox broadcasters Ken Coleman and Rico Petrocelli. Final score again. In 13 innings, the Boston Red Sox 3, New York Yankees 2. Dal Burnett speaking on behalf of audio technicians Ernie Gamble and Terry Pop Beveridge. This has been a presentation of AFRTS Sports in Washington. This is the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
This is SCN Radio, 790 Pacific and 1420 Atlantic.
We now...